Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for some more League of Legends Season number 15 group stage action. On the Radiant side, it's a big baller brand captained by Fume, featuring Purdue's very own Treehard, Laz champion Hobbs, Hulk, and Salty. On the Dire side, it's a longtime Lad stalwarts PolarAss, featuring Laz champion Dark, all lads offlaner Filski, Sonic God, Chillamello, and Nephilim. I'm joined tonight by a very special guest, former DPC player, perhaps the highest MR player in lads, an expert of many video games, including Dota, League of Legends, TFT, and of course,
I
Zora
don't play
Slang.
TFT, that's Andy. Sorry. I thought I should really set the record straight there.
I honestly did not know that, my people. We are joined by that man. It is Strawberry Shark, aka Salacious Sea Lion 62, aka Salvex, Salvex 37, aka Rook, aka Jim. How are you on this fine evening?
Pretty good. Chilling. Hanging out with Badger, who's also known as Hot Weasel 42. I don't know if you guys know about that, but
You don't play
yeah.
TFT?
I don't play TFT. I don't like it. I think it's like the worst auto battler. I think every season, like, they change the game a lot, but I don't really like. They change the game just enough to where it's unrecognizable for someone who doesn't like play often, and you have to relearn the trades and stuff. But not enough, in my opinion. Like, not a lot actually changes, in my opinion.
I mean, you're right, and
But you know,
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that your opinions once again are simply correct.
yeah, I like auto battlers in general. Don't really like TFT though, just personally.
That's what I figured, because you like auto battlers. Andy
Yeah,
plays it, Keelan plays it, Rojo plays it, Apon plays it. A lot of your friends play it, but not you. You know, I appreciate that you stand alone. Speaking of
thank you.
standing alone, we have Venomancer, the most venomous of heroes on the dire side. Radiant have Bench Spirit. So far, the bans are Doombringer, Brewmaster,
I
Leshrac, Razor, Slardar, Hoodwink, Beastmaster, Centaur, Disruptor, Pango.
I am not the biggest fan of this Venomancer response. I don't really see like how it's a good hero against Venge. Like, I mean, it's a pretty stable support, but like in general, like Venom's about like catching some like one person off, and like yeah, it doesn't really strike me as like the best. I mean, I think it's just a general pretty strong hero, though. I don't know. I also, at the end of the day, I always think that in lads, like drafting for comfort, excuse me, drafting for comfort is probably the most important thing. So maybe if they're really comfortable on it. But yeah, these
Yeah,
are my initial
that's
impressions.
I agree with your impressions. Honestly, I don't recall Nephilim being a huge Venom player. Maybe Chell's the big the big Venom player. But honestly, I don't think I've ever casted him playing Venom
He
either.
likes
Maybe they
Stealer
just
already well.
believe in the Venomancer tech.
Yeah, I think this is a really strong, stable carry. I will say Venge already is pretty decent against it, and I do think there are a lot of ways you can mess it up in lane. Like right now, probably if you're Radiant, you can maybe assume that you're playing against what do you call it lane? Um, a Veno Life Stealer lane. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's actually a pretty decent number of options you could come up with to mess this lane up. We'll see. We'll see what they go for. Also, not entirely sure where this Veno is going. I don't really
That's a
know if
Dark
these.
Willow.
That's a Dark Willow. Okay.
That's an offlane duo.
Okay.
Hypothetically, Dark can wait. This is the wrong team. This is definitely Hobbs playing offlane. What am I saying? Mix up my teams temporarily. I will say this is a clash of two different stylistic offlaners between Hobbs and Filski. I know those two have a pretty decent long term rivalry. They play different heroes, they play different styles, and I know they have gone to barbs before about their thoughts on the offlane role.
Sure. I don't know much about this conflict, but I'll take your word for it that it's spicy and edgy, and it's what the lads players want to see.
It's one of those things where, again, Filski, he's the all lads player, but Hobbs, unlike Filski, has won a lads. So there's both sides of the debate here. It's kind of like Rondo versus CP3 back in like 2010, where it's like one might have the individual accolades, the other one has the win though. So good old conversation there. We have an Invoker by the way for PolarAss.
Okay. I think this Invoker pick is kind of whatever. Also, don't love it into Venge, but I think the other two heroes it's rather strong against, so that kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of evens out the strength of it.
I will say, it seems like they're going to save this 24 pick for Filski, assuming it's not his Venge, or not his Venge, not his Venomancer, my god. I know he can play Veno, but I think just picking your three cores like that is just, it's got to be psychotic. There's no way you just pick three pick cores like that.
I mean, I would really dislike the Venge core or the Veno being a core if they had seen Vengeful Spirit, because it's really good at it. It's really good against it. Yeah. But I'm gonna assume that the Veno is just support. It's probably just their 5. That's like a pretty potent lane and they got going on there.
I have a question from the Twitch chat,
What up?
Jim. Why are people picking Veno?
Why are people picking Veno? Who's asking?
Shane is asking.
Okay. Uh, People pick Veno because he's really strong on lane. Uh, his ultimate is really good. Like it's like kind of always really good. Like the way his ultimate works now, where it still provides the big slow and pretty good damage even through BKB is really useful. It just I think the hero is really strong in lane. I think it's really strong at level 6, and I think that it gives really good vision. Like, but yeah, I think this hero wasn't getting played a lot after it got reworked. I think people just did not realize how good the new Venom ult was. I think it might have been buffed once as well, like the damage number on it a little bit or something. But yeah, I was a big proponent of Veno 5, like after his ult got changed. But I didn't see a lot of people playing it, and I kind of just feel vindicated now that people started playing it, even though I don't recall any like huge buffs he got recently. But yeah, I think being really strong in lane, I think his new ultimate is way better. And then the last big point is that he gives you really good vision, and vision is really OP in Dota. It lets you see things, and when you see things, you can make decisions and do stuff. A puck, so invoker support, I guess.
Yeah, that's my best guess. Thanks to your brother Andy Vendy for the sub, by the way. You know, as you mentioned regarding vision being good in Dota, you know, in a world where limited observer words, limited sentry words, summon heroes aren't necessarily in vogue, having those Venom words is even better than it normally would be.
Yeah, I think as the map has gotten bigger, like just the more ways you can have vision is more and more useful. For everything. Like there's more like warning spots to check with the heroes who cheat vision. There's just more maps. So see like the amount of the map that you would see like you need to see more of the map to have the same level of information, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's more spots people can be. Yeah, I think a lot of the terrain is like I think there's certain spots in Dota where like if you don't have vision and you start a fight, it almost doesn't matter what your heroes are, you just lose. Whichever team has the vision wins. Like I think they're just like certain locations on the map that really
Mm-hmm.
incentivize
Twin
this.
Gifts come to mind. Tri camps as well.
Yeah, like especially I think I always think of like near the Radiant Roche pit, like that like bottom section of the woods is like kind of like a death trap if you don't have vision. Um, yeah.
So, unrelated to the heroes, there is one narrative thing I do want to mention. So I'm not sure how much you follow lads. For long time lads watchers, the Bulljack's Fume combo is one of, if not the most iconic two-player combo in lads history.
Uh,
they won lads together twice, been together for I think like 9 different seasons, but Fume broke the pairing. It's like Lennon and McCartney breaking up. He
so
broke the pairing.
this is a big matchup. This is like flying crit, right?
Nah,
Or no.
Bulljax is
Crit.
near. It's more like if Fly was playing Sammy Boy or something. It's
Okay,
unrelated, but it's more like this is Fume away from Bulljax. This is my
I
first
see.
time casting Fume without Bulljax. They actually played a series of Floridas, I think, but I wasn't there casting it, therefore it didn't happen.
Phantom
Jim,
Assassin. Okay. Honestly, aside from the Lifestealer, I don't really think like I think like this is just seems like a very what like don't really like this pick. But I think as I will always say, I think picking stuff you're comfortable on and good at is better in lads than playing absolute meta. So
I agree.
yeah, but I definitely don't think that pick was. I don't think the PA pick was. It doesn't make a lot of sense in my head. And uh, Tiny looks really good here. I like Tiny. Good at blinking on Invoker and Puck and Veno and farming these guys. Uh, yeah, I like that was a very good pick to round out their draft.
This is a classic Treehard mid as well. I know he's played it on a CSL team. He's played it before in Lads. It's a hero he's very comfortable
It
in
also
the mid
like
lane.
no matter which whether this in Puck or Invoker mid, I'm pretty sure Tiny has a really easy time against both those heroes with
Hmm.
just their low base damage. Like he just you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It will be
Underlord.
Puck mid, by the way, with the Invoker going support. Yeah.
Which support role is Invoker on? Or
We,
Puck
don't-
on, I
we
mean?
don't.
Or
Oh,
Invoker on, I guess.
we don't quite know. Okay, it'll be Invoker 4, Veno 5. So it'll be an Invoker Underlord lane, assuming this team doesn't swap the
Yeah.
lanes on their
I'll say that
subs.
that Underlord looks like Underlord looks really strong against Radiant's safe lane, but it looks like it's gonna be paired with like a dog water like pause 4 here that like is super weak on lane. I think Invoking 4 is not as bad as everyone thinks it is. Like it's pretty bad. It's the thing, you know. Like I say it's not that bad, but like it's also like it is bad. You know what I'm saying, Badger?
I see what you mean,
Um,
but I think there's room for some
like
interesting
one thing is
combos
I
there.
do think it'll get out of lane, but like uh I think if they had like a more I don't know like a techies or something, they could like slaughter this Radiant safe lane. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like imagine that this was like a techies or like Pugna or like Snapfire, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I think they could really slaughter the PA Venge lane, PA Dark Willow lane, whatever they're doing.
I will say though, say we end up getting a relatively passive farming lane, Underlord should be at a big advantage in terms of last hitting denying. Underlord, without the aura, has like a 15 base damage advantage. You throw in the atrophy aura, it'll be an
Yeah,
overwhelming advantage for
I'll,
Felski.
I'll, I'll say that before the Underlord gets some gold and gets some stats, their all in is pretty strong on the with the Venge and the PA. Like you know, like a lot of physical damage with a lot of minus armor, right?
Hmm.
It's a pretty simple and effective combo in the lane, you know?
And if you can get level 2 first in that lane on the Venge and the PA before Underlord hits his 2, then we're talking okay. Kill opportunity, and that kill opportunity really could matter. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of this 2-game group stage series between a big baller brand on the Radiant side and PolarAss on the Dire side. It's Badger. I'm once again joined by the man of many titles, Jim, aka Rook, aka Strawberry Shark, and seems like the Radiant jungle might be a place where fights will end up happening, or perhaps not. I mean, Radiant are there. Dire have a bit of a nearby vision ward over here, as well as one over here, but again, I think walking semi-blind into this high ground, it sounds like a death sentence. It'll be in the river here instead, but we'll see.
Bro, Invoker doesn't have Tankos and he just has a wand and 2 iron branches. Brother, this is so troll. What the hell? What?
Either he's on Tundra in 2022 or he is trolling us.
Bro, this is troll as hell.
Listen, if his name was Snake King, I would believe it. Like, yeah, this sounds like a build Snake King would go for.
Think Snake King is gonna
Wands,
play
double
Invoker 4,
branches.
bro?
I mean, if he wanted to, I'm sure he could. It's Snake King. He's pretty good at Dota,
I'm.
too.
It's not about that, but Snake King plays like the most like Snake King plays like he plays like the staple like standard heroes for his team. Nothing wrong with that. He's very
Listen,
good at
there was a
them.
time when Snake King used to play not just the staple heroes before he
No,
before he
I think
before he
Snake King, to
wanted the
be
win
clear,
Dota. Before he wanted the win Dota, he played interesting heroes.
no. I mean, to be clear, I think he's really good and he can play these things. Also, I think he probably still would play those heroes if it wasn't that sometimes his team like also like I think it's less that he wouldn't still play them now, but more that like I feel like sometimes other players on his team like pick the wonky stuff, so he you know what I mean?
Hmm.
All right. Uh,
Listen, there's nothing wrong with playing the lame heroes if you're winning money for it. There really isn't.
yeah. I think Venom's just dead. Yeah.
I didn't. Wow, I'm watching mid lane. My bad. My
One thing
bad.
I will say is that people need to be Veno is really strong in lane, but it's honestly really easy to feed on him, and I think a lot of people just don't really get how to like trade with him. Like like you should be getting people right from the minute the lane starts, and you want to just always like you never want to be in the range to cast their spells. Or I don't want to derail the cast by just talking about how to lay down Veno. You know?
Honestly, if you want to, I wouldn't stop you. I
Well,
mean, I don't know
I
how to
feel I
land
feel
on
like there's
Venom,
gonna be a
so
lot of I feel like there's gonna be a lot of fighting. We'll see.
listen, I can interrupt you when it happens. I mean, I'm watching
But see,
Deno right
okay, what
now.
Veno's doing right now is good, where he casted the Q, he got some hits, the opponent casted their spells, and you walk back. You really want to be playing for like having both of your spells, the Poison Sting and the Gale, and then you really want to like Like you just want to be like chipping away at them like a little rat person, and like you want to basically keep 100%. Your ideal lane in 5 Veno is you scale Gale level 1. You Gale people, you just Gale people off cooldown and try to like get to level 2 fast, and then you try to keep up 100% poison sting uptime on both of the opposing laners, while you just like chill and you like play for pulls and stuff. Like you're just trying to like chip them out and be a little rat fuck. You know what I mean? And then once they're low, that's when you go all in and you go ham. But then it's not really like like, oh, let's go walk this guy down at the moment when we walk into lane. Like in some lanes he is, but not all.
Seeing it right now, the Gale was used on
Yeah.
Hobbs. Hobbs did not skill the chain. That will be a kill for Sonagod Sadboy. And a tip comes out immediately.
I'm gonna be honest, if the Dark Willow used W, they could have really easily denied Hobbs. Because I'm pretty sure you still have the bonus damage on your teammates, right?
I don't know.
I've seen people do this before, so I'm pretty confident that I'm not coping. Yeah.
Again, I don't know either way, so I'll believe you.
Yeah, that was a good kill for Dire, but the lane is in a really good spot for Radiant. One big thing that I want to see Radiant's offlane do this game is I want to see the Dark Willow try to give Hobbs solo EXP whenever they can.
Hold that thought.
Looks like
Top lane, Nephilim is forced to pop the
he's
stick.
alive.
Everyone's fine. Meanwhile, bot lane, there's fighting going on there as well. Chandler is on the run. Hulk has Lotus, but no detection in the inventory. He could have backpacked to Sentry, but not time to do so. I will say though, I mean, it's always, I don't mind you going on like these laning tangents because again, you are the highest MMR player in the league, hell, you're the highest MMR player in the league, period. So you know you want to go into the finer details of laning mechanics. It's always fun to hear about these interactions. Chain forward by Hot. That's a nice little kill there from the Timber Saw. Speaking of Venom, Venomancer is dead. Veno's been involved in literally every kill and death in the game so far. All the Radiant kills on Veno, all the Dire kills helped by Veno.
Yeah. So far, the PA Underlord lane is looking pretty neutral. I think the Underlord side has a small CS advantage, but nothing crazy. Curious to see how this progresses. Yeah. think that the Ven should send out a dust, by the way. Okay, they are. That's really good because this Invoker's actually a really easy kill on lane. Like after he uses like 2 spells, he's just completely worthless, and Underlord can't really save him. So I think that'll be a pretty easy kill once they have dust.
We saw it earlier where Invoker walked away, but with the when the dust arrives, that'll be a.
Currently, the puck tiny lane is like a tie, which that's probably so far the biggest, like nothing that should not be going this way. You know what I mean? I think it's usually like pretty not like it's pretty easy for Tiny to get like at least somewhat of a lead.
Yeah.
Not to say that like he's getting owned or anything, but you know, I think being tied is not what you want with puck as Tiny.
Yeah, you want to be winning more than that. Both side lanes fights are breaking out there, but it seems like everybody's going to be A-okay despite spells being thrown out.
Come here, Cat One. Come here.
Cat One at it again.
Not too much. But I'm trying to get her into petting position while I cast.
Now, for those who don't follow Jim on a personal level, you know, the Jim Cat 1 arc is a reoccurring trend. Bottom lane, Cold Snap on Fume. He blinks to the left, over to Hulk. Tornado from Cello Mellow. Fume's barely alive, but barely alive is good enough, I suppose.
My cat has very strong feelings about me casting with Badger. If I start casting with Badger, she immediately needs to ask for attention.
You know, it's a matter
like,
of...
I don't know how she knows, bro. I don't know how she knows.
It's a matter of like it's like a jealous partner where it's like, you know, if you want to give them attention, they're too busy. But whenever you're giving somebody else attention, it's like, no, it needs to be my attention. It can only be me monopolizing it.
Yeah. The Underlord lane is starting to ramp up and pull ahead of the PA by a decent bit. I haven't really been paying too much attention to this lane, so I'm not really sure what happened here.
I got one.
Oh, you heard her? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's in a good petting position for me to pet while I cast.
That's a good
I'm
sign.
a bit leaned back,
Mid-lane,
so my visual acuity is low, but
it's gonna be A-okay. His mid lane, Shieldman was grabbed by Nephilim. TP weapons canceled by the coil from Dark. It's time for Salty to die, perhaps. Curse Crown will end up being not dodged thanks to the avalanche from Treehard. Salty ends up going down. Dark's still alive. Now Treehard will get kited around. Cello's on the way. EMP Tornado on the floor. Treehard's half HP, no mana, trying to get away. He's got 8-1 charges. Tornado into Orb. Orbit, I believe, may have been dodged. I think Treehard will barely be alive. He'll be a little bit close,
no,
he was
he was totally fine. He has 11-1.
I thought he used the wand. He still has the
He used a
wand?
wand I think at the start, but like Veno casts a lot of spells with the Plague Wards, and then the Invoker was cast. You know what I mean?
That's fair, that's fair.
Um, yeah. So definitely a nice little start for Dire. They've gotten like their puck has a really good start against the Tiny, which is pretty useful. Although might good. Oh, bro, you gotta go for that. I think Tiny could have killed this guy if he should have tried to he should have tried for the kill with Avalanche and E and auto toss.
Maybe
But hey,
he's a little bit concerned with the phase shift and the raindrops,
yeah,
because raindrops always make that kill a little bit harder to obtain.
yeah. One thing I will say right now, I think Radiant should try to do is they're playing against Veno, but Veno's team isn't really like holding spells to stop the deny. I think that like both of the times that these people have died, they should have just got denied, honestly. But obviously that's easier to say. Not oh, no.
Yeah, top lane, speaking of Veno spells, it's time for Veno to die. Sonagod's looking to man on up, turning on Salty, who uses the Shadow Realm. Coil onto Hobbs and Salty. Hobbs is dead. Salty's not far behind. Double kill for Dark. Now, at this point, Treeheart has rotated in, looking for a kill on Puck. Puck is low, has 4 wands, but could not get the wands off in time. That's a kill there for Treeheart. At least one counter kill on the mid Puck, so it ends up being a 2 for 2. Meanwhile, bot lanes, a dive from Filsky and Shallow. Fume is low. Shallow is low. Perhaps both might end up dying. Fume jukes to the east side. Shallow ends up going down. Dust was used by Hulk. And at this point, it's a stun under the tower against Filsky. Filsky is fighting a 1v3. Lotus
so
ready
dead.
to go. He'll try to bring down Fume, perhaps. He TP's away, and it actually ends up working.
Oh my God.
What a cold-blooded TP from the all lads offlaner Filsky.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I thought that the Timbersaw had a different skill build. I thought they had like I thought they had like 3 points in Q. Never mind.
2-2-1 from Hobbs.
Yeah. I don't really know if that's. I don't really know what's the best skill build here would have been, but I'm pretty used to seeing people put like 3 points into Whirling Death and then start maxing the other skills. So I kind of assumed that they had 3 points in the Whirling Death and it was gonna kill him, but I was very wrong.
I don't follow Timbersaw builds. I don't subscribe to Timbersaw bi-weekly, so I wouldn't really know about it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, Trim Protector Monthly, that's my magazine.
So Hobbs went Veil first, and now I like that they're buying the Eternal Shroud immediately next. I think with Eternal Shroud Veil, they're gonna be an absolute menace. They won't have the blink to like jump on people, but I don't know if that's the biggest deal. I think with Eternal Shroud this game, they're gonna be like kind of unkillable for a while.
Top lane, Filsky's on the run. Chakram's up in 1 for Hobbs. Chakram hits, Dark is Orion, but it's a little bit too late. Timbersaw is tanking quite nicely at 400 HP, orb away from Dark, and as a result, it will not be a kill against Timbersaw. Meanwhile, top lane, we saw a little bit of action there as well. Veno looked for a little bit of a wraparound situation, but instead he ended up dying to Treeheart. So 2 kills across the map, 1 on Filsky, 1 on Nephilim, and looking for a third right now against, wait a minute, never mind, the opposite direction. It's Fume who's being gone on. He blinks to the south. He'll now dagger Chelomello. He'll EMP on the floor. Invoker's in a lot of danger. Filsky respawns TP's top lane. Chelomello will end up going down a few more hits, but the illusions are inside the Pit of Malice. Meanwhile, Hulk, speaking of Pit of Malice, tries to fight around it. Sonagod's in the pit. Filsky's in the pit. Everybody's in the pit right now. Avalanche on 3 from Treeheart. Hobbs is now respawned. Correction, TP top lane. Going for Filsky. Filsky ends up going down. That's 3 kills now. 2 of them being on Filsky. They move to Chelomello. Blink in by Fume. 4 kills. The Radiant side. They'll move to Nephilim. Chain forward by the Timbersaw. Chakram in. 5 kills across the map. For the side of Big Brawler Brand. 3 of them going to Hobbs in that Timbersaw.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Dire needs to execute a good gank on this Timbersaw with the Venomancer ultimate and Puck, and they need to slow down this Timbersaw, because I think once Timbersaw has E-Shroud, this game they're gonna be like pretty uninteractable with for a while. But to be clear, it's not like Dire's doomed. Like their Lifestealer's doing rather well, and the PA is like they're not insanely poor, but like I'd say they're like pretty poor. They're probably gonna have Battle Fury, what, like minute 16 maybe? 16:30, I want to say.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not really very great. One thing about this, I think the Invoker is gonna be pretty annoying for the Timbersaw if they are good at casting their spells, but they're very far away from a vessel, which would be a really, really useful thing to have against the Timbersaw. Yeah, and they are very far away from it, and their mana burn, their mana drain is also going to be pretty lackluster once they have the Eternal Shroud.
Yeah. See what's going on bottom lane.
Yeah,
Fume
Dark
kind of
has
just sitting
found
here.
Fume. It's currently a 1v1. Dark will coil forward, TP in by Salty. It'll be a 3v2 fight. Fume runs to the west side. They'll turn up the Salty instead. Now it's Treehard TPing in. Avalanche on the Dark will now get tossed up. Salty pops the Bedlam. That'll eventually end up being a death on the Dark Willow. But most importantly, the PA does get away. You saw the Salty kills. Like, yeah, it's a lot easier getting the PA. We'll get that instead, and ends up being a 1-0.
Yep. See, the other team making stacks. Although I guess both teams don't really have. Actually, I guess PA is pretty good at stack clearing once they have
Middle
Valkyrie.
lane, we'll end up seeing a kill against Hulk. But as that happens, Treehard solo kills Dark in the Radiant Tide jungle, who was running away from the previous bottom lane fight. Back to Hulk, he's still running away. Avalanche on 2 from Treehard, so Treehard, fresh off a solo kill, saves his life. That's just a fantastic fight there from Treehard.
Yeah.
I'm having a rough night right now, Jim. I'm not casting well, my camera works off. I don't know what's going on with me tonight.
I think your casting is great, Badger. I'm really enjoying being here with you while we cast.
I appreciate that. I need that for my ego. Thank you very much.
Here, Badger. I think to show you how great of a job you've been doing casting, I'm going to use my Prime sub, and I hope Twitch chat helps me out.
Oh, thank you. I'll be end up being 2 prime subs in that case. Hold that thought, though, because in the Dire jungle, it's Hobbs on the run. Hobbs under a Dire setup Observer Ward, but again, Timber Chain to the west, and Dire lack the ability to play Dota 2.
I'm pretty curious what items Underlord are going to buy, or is going to buy. I never see this hero, like, ever. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what they end up purchasing. Yeah, I just have no clue.
Okay, it'll be Lotus Sword.
I
It'll be
think
Lotus
that
Sword.
this game, it could have been pretty cool if they had, because their lane started off really well. I think it could have been kind of cool if they went something like Brown Boots Orchid or like Treads Orchid and and then they could buy team items afterwards. I don't really like buying the Lotus this early. I feel like they should buy something else. I mean, it's pretty good against Radiant, but like.
Big smoke on 3 from the
I'm
Radiant.
off
They
him.
find Sonic God, but he rages in time. We saw it there. They were at the edge of the Dire Watcher. Radiant were aware of the Watcher thanks to the Observer Ward. They wanted the right opportunity to chain stun, get the perhaps Tiny in the lead, but the initiation did not work out there. Sonic God rages and walks away.
Yeah. One thing is I do think that they have really good lifestealer answers this game. Like, I think PA is good against it. I think Benj is good against it. I think they don't need to be too. If anything, if I'm Radiant, I want to gank the puck. I think the puck is going to be way more annoying than the lifestealer. I think lifestealer is just like he's so far away from being a problem, and he's not going Radiance, so he's only going to farm so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, with the way that Lifestealers... Wait, we fight some multiple spots. I think that'll be the one dying the bottom side of the map, yeah. And then nobody dies top lane. But the way that these Lifestealers tend to itemize nowadays is usually not like a super great
Bro, Dark Willow is going
itemization.
Midas.
What? Is that good or bad?
I actually really like it this game. I think it's good.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah. The only other thing I could see is maybe they should have went like Shard Yules because they're against Puck with the side. Like, but I think it's fine if they want to play for late game. I think that they have the hero. I think they can get away with being greedy, and I think they have heroes that all kind of want to play for later on in the game. You know, like Tiny might want to bang hard right now, but like Timbersaw and PA are very content to just play the long game and farm like crazy.
Speaking of banging hard, they found Salty bottom lane and they absolutely blasted Dark Willow. Free kill there for Dark and Filsky. And meanwhile, top lane, we finally got running at Hulk. Hulk will offensively swap. At this point, it will be a solo kill for Sonic God. The Twin Gate, sorry, Fiend's Gate was used there by Filsky, but to, I guess let's relocate the top lane.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, actually, I have an idea. What if we swap the name of Twin Gate and Fiend's Gate? Like, honestly, under ulti, it feels like a Twin Gate.
I don't know, Bester. This is too hard of a question for me. I can't answer this. Also, here it is with the PA with the 16-minute Battle Fury. So like, it got a little faster than I thought. I was thinking like 16:30, but
Are you seeing this visual glitch, by the way, where it seems like the Ven just almost like, I don't know. I can't.
Oh, the Ven doesn't even have the Arcana. Like, I'm gonna report Hulk. Hulk should be banned from the league.
Look at PA. Look at PA right now. Do you see this?
Let me look at PA.
It's like weird walking from
Oh,
PA.
yeah. I see this too.
It's usually a glitch from like when he gets stunned and then some other interaction happens, right?
Like Dire, like kind of like everything that's happening right now is just kind of a chain mess. Like I don't really know. I don't know what's going on right now. This game is just wacky.
Listen,
Dire
I don't
Dire,
mind
like,
wacky.
Dire like slowly walked up into the Radiant Triangle and like farmed like 2 camps, and then
Just walked
Radiant
away,
just kind
yeah.
of walked into it afterwards. Like both teams are completely ignoring the bottom half of the map, like in its entirety. Badger, you know what I mean? Like.
Speaking of Treehard, he'll go in top lane against Filski. You didn't even say Treehard's name. Regardless, came forward by Hobbs. Filski is dead. Looking for a trade kill onto Treehard's Tiny. Swap is used defensively, but Sonagod still secures the kill. Sonagod heads to Hulk. Hulk will end up dying. Terrorize in from Salty. Only hits one. Dark will end up jaunting away. Shellamel cancel the Timber Chain from Hobbs. Hobbs is running out both HP and mana. Fume plays in for Dark. Dark still gets away. Hobbs still incredibly low. Hobbs will end up eventually going down in one more hit. Back to Fume. He's TPing away, as is Salty. They'll both successfully TP away. That'll end up being a 3-for-1, heavily in favor of the side of PolarAss.
I think that Dire made a pretty not awesome move with trying to take the enemy triangle right there. But like they kind of got bailed out really hard. I don't know why Radiant decided now was the time for a 5v5 team fight. But that gives Dire a lot of momentum. Gives them a free top tier 1. Their PA wasn't hitting any creeps that whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a pretty bad set of events for Radiant. And they weren't even forced into it. You know, they just sort of decided like, hey, let's go take a 5v5. Also, I think if they wanted to take a fight like that, they're tiny. Like they have to blow up the Venom before he ults, or the Puck right at the start. You know, I think they started on like Underlord or something. It was just a mess.
Yeah, hard target to go on. I mean, they almost killed the Puck.
Well, it's just like if you're gonna start, if you're choosing to start, like you need to choose to start on Puck or Venomancer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you kill Venom before he ults, it's a pretty big deal. And if you kill Puck before he does anything, then like that's awesome, you know. The other heroes like are not that relevant.
Link coil bottom lane against Fume. Fume snaps the coil. Fiend's Gate from Filski. That'll be a dead Fume PA. And I believe that will end the glitch walk. Meanwhile, mid lane is Treehard and Hobbs. But in come the Dire responsive heroes. Filski at the other end of the Fiend's Gates. And Sonagod's ready to rage and defend that tower. Glyph was used as well. So it's a kill on Fume in exchange for nothing but cooldowns and mana. And now we'll move to Hobbs. Hulk has defensive swap ready to go, but apparently it is not needed. At least not yet. The Hulk is ready to defensively swap when the time calls for it.
Yeah.
Hobbs walks in, chains away. Sonagod's raging. Hulk's still ready to swap. Okay, a bit of a pit from Vilsky, but apparently
I really don't like that Lifestealer is just buying an SNY. By the way, I feel like this is such a good Radiance game.
You know what this build reminds me of?
What?
Hold that thought, actually, because top lane. Never mind, Dark Side.
This used to be a pretty popular build.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of the super old school builds, where instead of the Corrosion, because Corrosion didn't exist yet, they would go like Armlets and then Deso, and then they go SNY.
Yeah, well, I think going Armlet Deso honestly here would have been better than buying that. Like, I don't know, I just think that like you should buy another. Like, I don't think you need to be buying an SNY right now. I don't think you're in that much danger. Like, I think your team is stronger than theirs for a while. Like, the PA like needs a lot of time to come online. The Dark Willow is going Midas, you know, like.
And he is going Deso as well, but it seems to be after the SNY, or at the very least after.
Bro, they are really. Are you watching this bottom? Like, they're just sitting here forever.
It's patience, but perhaps too much patience. You know, we talk about the turtle and the hare, but if the hare doesn't slow down, the hare wins the race.
I'm looking at like no one in this game has like 200 CS or anything. This is a pretty not too. There's not a lot of efficient creep hitting going on this game. I
agree. Sonagod pops out, by the way. It brings down. Hulk.
Yeah, that was definitely not worth it. By the way, he spent so long inside of that Booker. You know what I mean? Like
he got what, like 7 creeps worth of money.
Yeah, he got 325 gold and 120 to the Invoker, so like that's pretty bad for the time invested.
And maybe if you kill a big core, you could say, all right, maybe it's worth it in terms of opportunity cost for their cores.
I mean, if like PA TP'd into that and fed, it would have been worth it. But like that's like, you know, like
mid lane, Darks going on in, jaunts on away. Seems like if you want to see core seeding, it'll be mid lane where it occurs. Gale Barely hits from Nephilim at the very edge of the projectile. Terrorize on 3 hits. Venomancer, Underlord, and Lifestealer. Dark is still being a bit of a hornet on the Radiant side front lines right now. Tolsky once again walks back in. That'll be a T1 tower kill eventually. But there's still a fight brewing, perhaps. There's still 9 heroes here. Treehard casting a couple of spells. Seems like Hulk will end up going down. 1 kill for the Dire so far. And
the more time that this Rambo 5v4 mid is going on though, is the more time PA is just not neutrally hitting creeps. I think that outside of the Venge dying, that was a pretty good period of time for Radiant. But then the Venge died and now their woods are getting eaten and they're not farming and yeah.
We're at the point where PA is really beginning to ramp up. We mentioned the B-Fury timing earlier. BKB is on Courier, and Fume will go for what is really El Clasico for the PA builds. It's Desolator next, and once that Desa was online, then we're talking, okay, PA is ready to go. Lifestealer will be ready to battle, though. He should have his Deso around that time as well, so it'll be
I'm pretty
Desa versus
surprised that
Deso.
Underlord choose to buy Lotus Orb first item, but they're not really buying crazy strong team items after that, you know? Like they didn't go Greaves Pipe or something like that. I don't really know if it's good or bad. I don't play Underlord. I don't watch Underlord. This hero is pretty not picked ever.
Agreed.
So I'm more just commenting that it's interesting.
Well, Treehard gets caught in his own jungle, though. Perhaps he'll look to counter kill instead. Coil on Tiny, blink in by Fume. It's chaos in the Radiant side jungle. Treehard eventually goes down. Swap defensively from Hulk. He wants to go in for Sonagot. Sonagod's still walking away. Rage on cooldown for 7 seconds, but it seems not to matter. Dire running at Fume. Fume is on the run. Jaunt in by Darko, winning Rift as well. Fume BKBs. He's looking to crit. Infest from Sonagot. Fume's incredibly low. Now turns to Hobbs. The pit is still there. Terrorize. Once again on 2 from Salty. Chain away from Hobbs. Dark is dodging tower. Orb, I believe, missed from Dark. Sunstrike is also off the mark. Fume barely survives. Smoke was used for good measure just to retreat. In the very end, it's a 1 for 0.
Puck had a DD there. I think Radiant is just getting really lost right now, and they keep walking into fights they don't really need to be taking. I think that they can just farm as long as they can. The Dire team should be trying to find Radiant, catch them. Not that Radiant should be choosing to fight Dire. I think that Timbersaw and PA are gonna scale up like crazy, and one of their supports is a Midas, and both of their supports are you know what I mean. They just don't need to be doing this stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're diving bottom lane against the Venge right now. Venge certainly will end up dying eventually, barring a miracle. Venge stun on Puck, actually. He didn't phase shift in time, though seems not to matter. It's a dead Venge. Now Willow is in the ice wall, trying to avoid it again, but you run away from the ice wall, you run back into the Dire heroes. Bit of a catch-22 rock hard place situation right there. Both Radiant Sups are dead, and the T2 bottom lane is not long for life.
Do that, Patrick.
Mid lane, Hobbs shows, Dire respond, Hobbs chains away, Dire still chase, PolarAss. They smell Radiant Core heroes right now, but seems like both Timbersaw and the Tiny are fine. Cello is skulking on around. What's the cooldown on Tornado right now? We're not entirely sure, but I'm assuming it's ready to go. Cello's still scouting. Timber and PA are under Cello's vision. I think Radiant should know at this point. That's the whole call snap on PA. BKB is ready. Fumes being a bit greedy, but the greed will pay off. Tornado correction actually hits the Timbersaw, but at this point, Dire's catch appears to be lacking, at least to some extent.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry for that yawn, Badger.
Speaking of Dire catch, the catch has arrived. Sonagot goes in, Dark not far behind. Hobbs, Zap HP, Treehard jumps to that class, destroys Puck! A huge jump from Treehard. Now with the Puck dead, there's no coil. You're down your middle laner, and accordingly, Dire begin their retreat. PolarAss.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I said, if you are going to choose to take a team fight, you need to blow up, Puck or Veno, and, there they blow up the Puck, and Puck's item build is so unbelievably greedy, by the way. He just has bits of travel, yeah, that's pretty greedy.
Agreed. And seems like Treehard, produce very own Treehard, wants to punish that one, and so far he has.
Yeah. Radiant kind of seem all bunched up together right now for no particular reason, though. They should have, after that kill, just split up and hit more creeps, but... hey, you know, doesn't always happen.
Well, seems like we are seeing a bit of aggressive posturing from the Radiant side of Big Baller Brand. They're setting up in this PolarAss Dire side jungle right now. Looking at Dire Vision, they know what they don't know, if you know what I mean. Like they know something's up in this sort of area of the map, but they don't know exactly where the Radiant heroes are.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
seeing pings. We're seeing pings. And now Hobbs gives it away. Hobbs actually might end up dying here. That'll be a death on Timbersaw. A big catch there for Dire, and really, at that point, Hobbs jumped into the fishing net. At this point, it's Hulk on the run. Attempts to TP, and it will end up succeeding, so no secondary kill, but the big kill there was that Timbersaw, and PolarAss got it.
Yeah, I think Radiant is just a little too...
Another solo kill for Tree! Oh, never
Oh.
mind, not a solo kill. He found the puck. He's trying to kill the puck, but it will be an orb jump play away. It seems like Dark will be fine. Treehard still wants this. That's blinking for, but this kill should be impossible at this point. Barring a miracle. Yeah, it will be a missed kill now.
Yeah, I do just think that Radiant is not quite like they should just be aiming to like acquire as much net worth as possible, and they seem to really want to interact with Dire a lot. Like when Dire has everything up and there, you know what I mean? There's not really a point, especially because Lifestealer went such a like battle focused build, and like the PA is like I don't know, they just don't need to be doing all this.
Well,
Also, Vengeful Spirit Vengeful Spirit's been rushing the Ags, but like they haven't really been like farming creeps, and like they've just been kind of, you know what I mean? Like your Vengeful Spirit without the Ags basically has a bunch of dead net worth in their inventory, so like that's not really a great look either. You know what I mean?
You know, we were mentioning, you mentioned it, I mentioned it, the sort of battle build from Lifestealer. He had Deso and Quick Buy, he moved to the MKB, so it'll be MKB for the next fight. It's on Courier right now for Sonic God.
Yeah, it'll be pretty strong at hitting the PA. I mean, the Lifestealer's like bad part about interacting with PA is that Lifestealer doesn't really like Lifestealer has a hard time catching PA if PA like starts in the backline, kills someone, gets an Ags reset, kill, you know what I mean? Like it can be pretty hard for Lifestealer to ever actually click PA. I really hope that Lifestealer buys an Ags next item. I think if he can just see him for 1 second and click ultimate on him, he'll be really impactful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Seems like Dire, having grabbed the top tier 2 tower, want to go for the Radiant side Tormentor. Not the easiest Tormentor in the world to take, but you know, they're going to get it anyways, despite being right outside the Radiant base with Radiant heroes inside their own base. That's a free shard for Dark on the puck, who was third on his team in net worth, but again, Venom already bought his own shard, so at that point it was between the... Oh, Invoker bought his own shard as well, actually, so it was between
Invoker's shard
Puck
is
and
really like,
Underlord.
I'm really glad that Invoker bought a shard because it's really like I think if you're playing support Invoker, you definitely like, have to buy this shard early.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. And usually you don't see both subs buying shard that early. Usually one of them agreed after Tormentor, but neither did.
Yep. Dark Willow, by the way, it's pretty close to their Aghanims. That's a pretty nice little boost right there. Oh, Treehard.
Yeah, once again, interacts with Dark. Tosses... Oh,
Oh!
he soul kills him anyways! He'll probably
like,
lose his life
Puck
for
still
it, but it's worth it.
Puck still doesn't have Kaya Sanj, which I think is pretty criminal. Yeah. I think this Puck, like, buying the bots instead of, like, rushing Assange to, like, never be one-shottable.
Offensively
is pretty
into
painful.
Sonagod. Hops into the siege unit, and yeah, if he had that Sand, I believe he lives there, right?
I think it's the past 2 times he's died to Tiny, he would have lived. Like, or he definitely should live if he has Sanj. Like those last 2 times he died to him. His item build is just really greedy, and he's like not. Yeah. He's giving Treehard quite a bit of gold.
Demolishes whole Cobbs. He's forced to chain away, by the way, but yeah.
It feels good to be this good.
He's all chatting. He's all chatting.
Who is?
With the voice line, Sonagod.
Oh.
Hobbs,
I don't count that as all chatting. Like I don't think voice lines count.
It counts. Hobbs ends up going down anyways. I mean, there's a difference between the voice line and the all chat, like literally consciously all chatting. But you know, tipping, voice lining, all chatting, they're all these same sort of style of BBB.
I think that all chatting is
I think it's pretty different from voice lining. I think because I think a lot of people just I don't know. I don't see them the same way. But, you know, Badger, we can have different opinions on this, and that's okay.
They
It's
all
still-
break the Geneva Conventions, they're all real to me. Dark blinks in, silence is salty and salty. Will end up returning to the ground at this point. 45 seconds in the grave for Dark Willow. The Ags was finished, but while there's no HP left on the Willow, the T3 mid will end up going down. Dark blinks in, orbs away.
Tiny is closing in on Kondo, which I think is going to be pretty nasty. I think he can like one-shot like 3 of Dire's heroes with it like pretty easily.
You see Sonagod popping out of the infested Force Spirit Fume. BKB's away. Sonagod wants to kill Sunstrike from long range by Cello Mello. That's a perfect headshot from the support Invoker. That's a dead PA for over a minute. That'll be 2 racks now.
Fruit.
For all the
Yeah,
box,
things
for all
are,
the X, they're dying.
things are
Get
not
by
looking
Hobbs.
great.
Desperation time. But that will be 1 life lost on the Life Stealer. Problem is, there's still 1 more life to play with thanks to the first return of the game. Hobbs gets bashed mid-chain. Goodbye, Timbersaw. No buyback. Dead for 55. Hulk will end up offensively / defensively swapping the Invoker. That'll end up eventually being, I think, a death on both of them. And they both will end up dying. And meanwhile, Shrigar end up killing Filsky. Swap again, used by Hulk thanks to the Aghanim Scepter. Sonagod open wounds onto the Tiny, moves to the Willow. Willow is dead. The Venge illusion will end up dying as well. So Tiny ends up surviving, but in the 3v1 siege, it still should be a second set of barracks, more voice lines, more tips, and more buildings dying. Structural damage obtained. 2 racks taken by PolarAss.
Group. I mean, things have gone pretty dire for Radiant, but they still have the PA factor, which I think is pretty impactful. Like, having PA is just pretty. You can get into a really bad spot and get bailed out by like 1 team fight where they just go absolutely ham, and then they can also just queue up a rapier and like try to like finagle a win that way. You know what I mean? Not enough Lads players are using the word finagle. I think.
You know what? I agree.
Really add to Lads' value.
I think casters in general in the Dota community at large, you know, they have too shallow of a vocabulary. They need to go a little bit beyond just basic words and like Suns fan style memes.
Yeah, and also I think most of them are really bad at trying to do what Suns fan does. So like, they shouldn't copy him. You know?
Like, you can say what you want about Suns fan, but at least Suns fan is good at being Suns fan.
Yeah. Like as someone who I'm not, you know, I don't watch a lot of games with like the cat like listening to the casters unless it's like friends games or something, you know. But I listen to Suns fan. I think he's funny. I think he's entertaining. I think he does his shtick well.
You know, if you were casting, you know, I'd be putting in the chat about him. I would be putting a reminder about the NBA playoffs between the Timberwolves and the Suns. It's a little 4-0. Fuck AD and fuck Phoenix sports fans. No offense, Suns fan. But we are seeing a desperation play, perhaps on the Radiant side. They're leaving their base. Or perhaps not.
Yes.
They're kind of leaving their base. Fume. What is that called? Blurry. He's blurred on up. Sees Talamelo, blinks in, crits him down. Sonagod wants vengeance, of course. Heads over to the PA. Curse Crown and Sonagod. Rage will end up blocking it, I think. Correction, he infests anyways. Filsky. Beansky it all the way to the Radiant side backlands, but at that point, being in that Radiant side rear guard is not what you want. He ends up dying there on the Underlords. 2 kills there for the side of Big Baller Brands.
Yeah, I don't really think that what's it called team needs to, like I think I don't think that was like a terrible go, but I do think Radiant should probably like they should try to help PA just get to the Basher, and then I think they should maybe honestly queue up a Divine. I think that the Basher is a pretty big turning point for the PA because they might actually be able to like, you know, stun someone before they react and just instantly pop them. You know what I mean, Badger? Like that would be a good idea for them to play around.
Okay, when you are a PA, well, hold that thought in me, because mid lane, it's Hobbs seeking a Basher, bashed by Sonagod. At this point, whistle blade forward, into open moons, Fume, BKB's blinks in, goes to Sonagod. The man fight between the 2 carriers is going pretty well for Sonagod. Sonagod rings down Fume, Hobbs is dead, Hulk is dead, Treehard jumps on in to bring down Cello Mello. Cello dies. This will not be a 1 fight. Nephilim's dead as well, but again, you are running out of heroes to fight with. Sonagod once again bashes. Double kill for Sonagod. 4 kills Salty will get away, but his fight is more than lost. Tiny and Venge have buybacks, PA and Timbersaw do not. Megas are in the work, and again, you have to buy back on Tiny if you want to hold against this possible Megas siege, and even then, you still might need more than Tiny.
Yeah, Badger, it's looking very rough for the boys.
Yeah, T3 dead, Melee Rack's dead. So they'll hold the Tiny buyback over the Megas. Technically, it's not Megas yet, but again, coil forward by Dark. Shadow Realm from Salty. Swap offensively from Hulk. That'll end up bringing down the puck. Tiny actually bought back for that, which feels like an awkward sort of uncanny decision between defending fully and holding buyback fully, but it was the play that Shrihard made. The puck is now dead.
Yeah, it worked out. I think kind of everything that's happening right now is irrelevant past like, them like a team getting the Aegis, which I think Dyer's just they're just gonna clean it up here, and the PA like any kill that they get is obviously really nice in terms of like not losing the game in the next like 1 minute, but like I think the only thing that really is gonna change this game is PA's items. I don't think like Timbersaw getting Shiva's changes much. I think if Tiny could get a massive influx of gold and get an Ags, that would probably actually change the game pretty significantly, but that's obviously, you know what I mean, Batcher? That's
Still
very far away.
A bit away, yeah.
I don't like this BKB. I do think it's a good game for Tiny to buy a BKB, but I think they're so far behind that it's worthless. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think if the game was more even, it would make more sense, but I think he should just really be buying raw damage, like getting an Ags or even trying to buy a rapier himself.
Like it's
That's
an
kind
item.
of the angle I feel like is the most useful.
BKB on Tiny in this game state, it's an item to not lose, but you can't be playing not to lose. You have to play to win. This is not a playing to win item. It's a playing not to lose item.
And it's just like he doesn't like they have a Timbersaw who can stand in front and like just be the big tanky guy. Like it's not like they're desperately missing someone who could do that role for the PA. So that's kind of why I think it's especially not a great idea. Because if you need someone to go in and die for PA to have vision on like backline, you have a Timbersaw already, right? So it's just not a. I don't think that it was going to accomplish a lot. But who knows, man? Maybe he's going to pop off with some insane BKB bait. Yeah.
Now we are on Rapier watch for Fume at this point. I mean, technically the Shard is in his quick buy, but
yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't even have it queued up. I'm a little disappointed, bro. This is not like if I didn't see him queue up a Rapier, I wouldn't pick him PA again, bro. If you're gonna pick PA, you gotta be willing to buy in Rapier.
Okay, Fume is a one item in quick buy player at a time. He'll go Shard, and then we'll see what he puts in quick buy.
Okay.
Like, he is not a like no Sonagod, right? Sonagod puts like 30k worth of gold in his quick buy every game. Let's put all his items in there. Fume is not that player. He is a much more, one item at a time, quick buy sort of guy. I'm not sure if he knows how to queue items up. I'll have to ask him one time, but regardless, Atos forward, gets dodged by Shrihard, blinks away to the south there on the Tiny. Sonagod is just hitting his Moonwell, by the way. Moonwell down, bash from the dagger. Sonagod has 2 lines, which makes this a lot easier to play the Lifestealer. One more Moonwell under attack. Swap in. Sonagod rages anyways. Now turns with open wounds. Pit in from Filski. EMP on the floor from the Invoker. Fumes, BK being blinking, bring down the Invoker, but the Radiant side is collapsing. Tiny is dead. No buyback. Venge is dead. The illusion's still there. Blink in by Hobbs. One more kill for Fume, bringing down the Ven on the other outside backline. Now a move to Puck. Puck's juking them around, though. Back over to Lifestealer Underlord. They're playing near the Radiant side Fountain. They'll kill the Ven Delusion. They'll turn to Timbersaw, who chains, but not to the Fountain. At this point, Ogre-Seal Totem will save Hobbs for the time being. Sonagod will end up losing 1 life. But there's still 1 more to play with. Blink in by Fume, back under the Underlord. Underlord is dropping, but still alive. Pit in. Fume is trapped, and he's got no way out. Now he buys back. Hobbs is fighting Sonagod. Blink in by Fume. The bash on the left side, but he pops the cheese. But another crit. That's a dead Sonagod. Sad boy Lifestealer. Now Dark is forced to orb and shot away. He's escaping. T-Rex is blinking by Fume. The face shift was there in time. Over to Hobbs. Hobbs ends up solo killing Filski on the bottom lane area. Dark ends up surviving a big fight win for the side of Big Baller Brand, but it cost them so much, their buildings and their buybacks.
Yeah, it's looking hard, Badger. I don't know if this changes anything, to be honest. Like PA didn't like PA literally didn't generate any gold, did they?
No, it's still
Like after the
1,300
buyback,
gold
it's
toward
just even.
Shard.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. I wish there was more I could say. I just feel like they need a rapier, and Tiny's not buying one, and PA's not buying one. So like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to say, Badger? Just
Okay, I figured it out. So, you
this
look
is
at
supposed to be your specialty.
you look at Timbersaw, right? Timbersaw has 19k gold. Sell all the items, buy a rapier, feed it on purpose to either Deno or Invoker. Then PA blinks in, takes the rapier back. Then you're literally transferring gold from your Timbersaw to your PA.
Jesus.
Problem solved.
Or I said Jesus, but I meant to say genius, Badger, genius. I like how you're thinking now. You're thinking to win.
At a certain point, you have to start thinking outside the box. You know, when the impossible has been determined, you must move to the improbable, and that sounds improbable, but still possible.
True.
He's not. Oh, that's a rapier! Look at his item build. He's looking at his abyssal blade. Fume.
Oh, Badger.
I mean, 2 bad decisions in 1 month. First breaking up a Bulljax, now this abyssal blade instead of rapier. Ay ay ay. Tormentor dead. Free shard for Salty. I'm salty. You're salty. We're all salty. Chalamello is also about to be salty. Feeds the gem.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that I'm salty. I'm a little disappointed, but salty. I wouldn't say I'm upset. Upset at any of these players.
Okay, salty is an adjacent emotion to disappointments. Perhaps
I don't
one
think
has
so. I don't think so.
Right, elaborate.
I mean, I think it is tangentially, but I think it's much more closely associated with being angry than disappointed. Like disappointed is more of like sorrowful and like, you know, you're a little sad, but like I'd say salty is pretty directly like related to anger.
I feel like if you add anger to disappointment, you get salts. And I feel like if we're doing emotional alchemy, that's how you get there, right?
No, I think it's just anger. I think that's being salty and being angry are like kind of the same thing. It's just
no,
how it's
they're
it's how it's
definitely different.
expressed.
They're definitely different. Salty and anger.
I'd say salty is like probably a lighter form of anger.
Like I know both those emotions play well. They're very different.
To me,
Link
I think
in
that salty.
by Dark.
Okay, sorry.
Radiant spoken the back lines. Open wounds from Sonic, but the Abyssal Blade is there. Mid-chain animation. Hobbs still fine. Sonic ends up walking away with the rage, and well, can never. We probably shouldn't. This is the big game-ending fight right now. Radiant back against the wall, have a throne to play with, and nothing else. No towers, no barracks, no moon balls or effigies even. It's just it's one building against the world right now.
Building hype.
Building hype. Building hype. I thought we were going for 3 rounds there, not 2 rounds, but
oh,
I digress.
I let you down.
No, I let myself down. I made an assumption. Regardless.
No. I let you down, bro. Other way around.
Yeah, maybe we both let each other down.
Alright.
On the back line, Treehard jumps in for Dark. Dark will coil. And juke him out for now. Coils snap, EMP in, swap away by Hulk. Sonic God man fights Hobbs. Hobbs Ogres comes away. Treehard's in the pit, ends up walking away. Hulk goes down, but still has the illusion to play with swaps into the Underlord. Sonic got infested inside the Underlord, speaking of Underlord. Venge Illusion's barely alive and will end up surviving for the Nevermind. Venge Illusion's still alive! They can't kill it! Now it's dead. Venge has no buyback. King of buyback status, Radiant have no buybacks right now. Hex on Hobbs, blink in by Dark. Timbersaw's half HP, Terrorize. Only hits 1. Blink in by Fume, but he's bashed! He can't fight! He's got nothing. That's an buyback on PA. At this point, we're looking at a GG call quite soon. It's a 3v4 defense.
Yeah.
And you're running out of spells to defend with. Sonic God jumps on in by walking up slowly, bringing down Treehard. Salty's still trying. Hobbs is still trying. Chalamo is dead, but now look at Sonic God. He's hitting the throne, turns back to the Radiant side here as Nephilim is dead. It's certainly a 2v2. Currently, Salty is glimmered, gets silenced, ends up being brought down by Sonic God. Now it's Hobbs against 2. Hobbs, Ogre, Shields Totem. That'll end up keeping Timbersaw alive for the time being. Now Sonic God returns to the throne. It's Sonic God and Dark both hitting throne. AC for Sonic God. Tip from Sonic God and the GG call from Fume. That'll be the game 1 win for the side of PolarAss.
Woo, go team. Yep. Don't you have any commentary, Badger? You're the caster.
I spent the last, 65 minutes commentating. What do you mean?
I don't know. It's like I thought you might have some closing game wrap up Thoughts, comments, questions, Yo concerns.
I mean, you
Oh,
could.
game client's out of date, by the way.
Unfortunate. I mean, usually if you're looking at the rhythm and the flow, like when a game ends, usually they might play caster says something, and then you let it breathe a little bit, depending on obviously if it's an unimportant game, you let it breathe for like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then at that point, then the analyst, once the breathing is done, would interject either with analysis or I don't know, snappy retort, remark, joke. I don't know, man. Whatever you want
Oh, I
to
wonder
do
if this
there.
is patch. You think it's patch badger?
I hope so, man. I really do.
I mean, it's 10 p.m. right now. Actually, it's probably not patch. I feel like this is not a patch time.
It's Monday as well, so
Yeah.
not quite the patch day. But yeah, we are going to reload Dota 2 because Dota 2 has to be reloaded, doesn't it?
Yeah. My Dota League keeps revalidating. Give me a second, badger.
Hey man, you do what you need to. Lobby is it up already? It is up already. It's just surprising. It's a
Dude, my
fast
Dota
reload
keeps
time.
clicking. My Dota fucking keeps validating over and over. I just give me. I don't know what's going on, badger.
Listen,
Give me a bit.
your Dota, it needs to validate itself. It's a very important process
Yep.
to make sure the files are correct. It's an important part of self-validation. Your Dota demands that of
True.
you. But we are going to cut to a break. We'll see you again for game number 2 of PolarAss versus Big Brawler Brand in a few minutes. Greetings and salutations, Dota fans. It is I, Badger, back for the second and final game of this BO2 Group Stage Legalized Season 15 matchup between Big Baller Brand on the Radiant side and PolarAss on the Dire side. PolarAss are reprising their role on Dire. They won Game 1. They didn't mark the wins.
They
What
didn't mark
can
the
you
wins, Badger. Do we hate
do?
them?
Yes, we can. I told them to do it, but
If Badger hates them, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them more than Badger hates them.
it's okay. I'll manually mark it because they they'd be considered heathens, right? They would definitely be heathens, the non-game marking heathens. You know what I'm gonna do? So I made a tutorial in the captain's chat. It's a 2-minute video telling everybody how to ticket the games and mark the wins and do such things. Clearly, 2-minute video. It's 2 minutes and
I think you need to
23
make an hour-long
seconds.
video.
No,
Honestly.
no. 2 minutes 23 seconds is just too long. It needs to be like a 35-second video. Like, hey, this is how you do it in 35 seconds. Make a TikTok length for these people. Regardless, I'm once again joined by good friend of the channel, former DPC player, many accomplished Dota player he is. It is Rook, aka Jim, aka Strawberry Shark, aka Slash Sea Lion 62, aka Salman 37. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm chilling. It was a pretty good game one, I thought. A little disappointed in the lack of rape here, but aside from that, we're all chilling. Yeah.
Whoa. I mean,
What up?
the last track pick isn't all that surprising. I guess the Knicks counter response also isn't all that surprising. I just didn't expect this to happen to my draft.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they flex this Lesh, and I hope they move it to support. And then that would be a very good start.
Oh,
Yep.
by the way, I have
Also, Lesh, if they're in the same lane as the Knicks, lanes against it really well. It's like incredibly easy for the Lesh to just pump them really hard. Yeah.
But then after that stage of the game, then Knicks gets his payback for all of the
The thing is, if you're
sins.
support, you could just buy like Glimmer Cape first item and you won't get one shot. I actually think that Nyx is like not very good against support Lesh. Like, you know what I mean?
I see it. I see it.
Support Leshes like they should a lot of the time just buy defensively, and in this case, it's really easy to itemize to not get one shot by Nyx, and Nyx loses a lot of value in that case.
By the way, you have a Telegram, Jim.
I have a Telegram
From Skater.
Okay.
Skater says hi.
Oh, he DM'd me and I said thank you, meow, as well. So there's a lot going on in the backstages of this cast right now.
But also, speaking of Jim, thanks for the sub, Jim. Appreciate that one. Always appreciate
no
the
problem.
the sub
I'd love to
from
see
you.
if Twitch chat could also sub. Thanks.
Yeah, we're up to 2 tonight. You and your brother, so we're up to 2. We're getting there.
That's true. That's big.
It's every little bit counts. We are at the next pick phase, by the way. We got a lot of bands. Doombringer, Brewmaster, Lifestealer, Disruptor, Mars, Hoodwink, Centaur, Warrunner, Beastmaster, Red Spirit, and Timbersaw all banned up. We are at the 13 pick for the Big Brawler brand.
The Mao brand.
Mao brand. I don't know. LeVar Ball doesn't seem like a cat person. That's definitely a dog person. I'll look it up, actually. I'll look it up. We have a Jakiro pick, by the way.
I see that. I don't particularly like it here. Whatever.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, so LeVar Ball apparently bought 3 Rottweiler puppies in recent years. I am seeing nothing about cats, so I was correct. He is indeed a dog person.
Yes. Mao. Or bark. I'm not sure what I should say in this scenario, Badger. What should I have said?
And
God.
you can defiantly Mao against the incoming onslaught of 3 Rottweilers. You don't have to bend to them.
Okay.
I wonder who has more bite force, a Rottweiler or Jakiro?
Probably Jakiro. They're like a dragon, bro.
Yeah, but it's a support dragon though. It's not like it's one of those massive Dragonite dragons, like the big.
I guess.
Maybe I'm looking at this from a bad angle.
Yeah, I don't know, Badger. I'm not seeing the way you're viewing this.
Apparently, neither the Dire side. They were not focused on Jakiro's bite force. They instead were focused on selecting the tiny with their 14 picks. So I'd say, again, very contested hero this year. He's got picked by the big baller brand Radiant game now by PolarAss on the
Yeah. So
on
far,
their
I'm
game.
liking Dyer's opening more for sure. Although I once again think to caveat it, I do think picking what you're comfortable with is more important in lads. So maybe these are like some specialty heroes of Radiance, and they're gonna pop off on them. But
I think that's
just
a good
purely based
sign
on the
though.
heroes in a vacuum, I'd way rather be Dyer right now.
So if you didn't like their draft and they won, that means if you like their draft, they're even more in a good spot to win. Because if they won with a bad draft, they can probably win with a good draft.
Yeah, but I don't think it's good to assess lads drafts that way.
I
'Cause
know, I know.
I feel like the things that people should happen with the things that should happen with people's heroes just like don't. So it doesn't. It's like I think it's better to just see like, oh, who got more of the heroes they like that let them play in a way they like, you know? I think worrying too much about like whose heroes are quote better versus the others is like usually not the most productive in League of Legends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I agree with you to about like an 80% extent. I mostly agree with you.
All right, we take those.
You know,
We take
80
those. We take
percent
those.
not bad. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
if you're a politician, 80% approval rate's pretty good. If you're a baseball player, hit 80% of the balls. That's pretty good. So you know, 80's not
True.
bad. Got some more picks, by the way. Razor, Pangolier, and Primal Beast all selected. By the way, we have a message telling you to turn on your Dota TV microphone. By the way, it's open mic team, not open mic party. For those who are wondering.
Um, I I had it on before and I had some problem with it, so I'm not gonna turn it on. I don't recall why I turned it off, but I remember it causing some problems, so I turned it off. I'm sorry if that upsets the person who asked this. I am sorry, but
Was the
yeah,
problem keeping it on for your pub afterwards, then cursing them out and getting muted in Dota?
no, I just don't. I honestly just don't remember what it was.
Alright, so that's just me then. Never mind.
It appears to just be you, Badger.
I have left my mic on accidentally and then said things they really shouldn't have, thinking that they couldn't hear me. Oh, what can you do? We do have some more bands playing picks. I believe we mentioned the Razor Pangolier and Primal Beast getting picked. Veno, Viper, and Darkseer, as well as Ursula now getting banned out. We are on the penultimate pick of the draft from PolarAss. I believe both teams played the same pick inside both games. I believe it was PolarAss Dire first pick, game one, and then it's again PolarAss Dire first pick game two.
Sounds about right.
10 seconds remaining.
We're relatively healthy on reserve time. Both teams looking
I
at.
like these Pango Razor picks, by the way. I think this looks like a really extremely hard Primal Beast game, by the way. Pango roll is good against it. If it's in the off lane, doesn't lean very well against like Razor Jakiro. Nyx Assassin is really good against it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this Primal Beast should just get slaughtered. I don't know what's gonna happen in the game, but like they have so many heroes who are good against Primal Beast. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
I kind of hope it's because of that they go with PB support rather than PB core, just to see. I mean, obviously you counter out PB, it's still good to counter out PB, but if it's a support that's going to counter out, it's less important to your team win probability than if the core is being countered out.
Yeah.
Problem is, I don't know what you pick then if that's the if that's the case, because you're rocking up like maybe tiny PB sub duo, Filski on some. I have no idea what. It's probably PB offlane. Never mind! It is Filski on something different. It's Abaddon offlane, PB probably sup, and then either Tiny Core less sup or the other way around. Or maybe it's PB mid. Yeah, we'll find out when we find out. How about that? Any predictions on the BBB pick?
No, sorry, but I don't know if you hear my cat one, but she's going off a bit. Let me think. Well, I really don't know who likes to play. Like, I'm assuming. Okay, I'm gonna assume it's Pango mid and it's Razor carry, but it could be Hobbs Razor as well. Let me just think a bit in general. Oh, one hero that I like here a lot. For your if they need to pick a pause one would be I think Spectre looks pretty interesting here. I think Spectre they would go like Earn Blade Mail or something.
It looks pretty strong. I feel like they buy Radiance afterwards, or even just Blade Mail Radiance. I kind of like that. Some other heroes. I think Faceless Void is still in the pool, right? Yeah,
It
Faceless
is. It
Void
is.
looks good. Uh,
You know what I like? This is
What?
kind of deranged. I like Drow Ranger for rating here.
you like Drow Ranger free? It's a eh. Uh,
Yeah, that's
think
what
it's
that's what I mean by
it's an
deranged.
okay Drow Ranger game. I Drow Ranger into tiny mid feels bad for a while. Um, Later on in the game when Drow had more HP, it'd be a pretty good like it would be an okay Drow pick.
Choose your
Oh,
I wasn't even thinking of this hero because I never see people play it in lads, but
I know few likes
um,
the hero in general. Like,
it
he's played it a
it
lot
is
of
a
the
rather
years.
good game for the
Yeah.
hero. The question is how good they will be at like utilizing the hero in lane, and then how good they will be at utilizing their advantage after lane. I think this is a hard hero for lads players in general, but I do really like it here. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. You know what I mean, Badger?
I do not like this Bloodseeker pick. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Bloodseeker into these heroes. I think if Bloodseeker has a poor game, which happens a lot on Bloodseeker in lads, then he's gonna just lose more. I don't know. Like, he's not out farming Luna. He's going to struggle potentially in this lane into Abaddon Tiny. I don't know. I'd start off a lot more. I think they left it off the one.
Sure, I guess. I don't really, I wouldn't go that far, but I think it's kind of an okay Bloodseeker pick. I, in general, don't like Bloodseeker in lads. As a hero, just because I think a lot of like, I think people are not good at maintaining leads, and I think people oftentimes like mess up their Bloodseeker lanes pretty hard, just by like diving too much or not like abusing his passive. So we'll see if any of these things I said happen, or we'll see if Fume has a nice time against the double melee with the Jakiro in his lane and Pones. We'll see which of these things happen.
We shall see. I would guess as well, but your guess is certainly better than mine. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of a BO2 group stage series between Big Baller Brand on the Radiant side, and the game 1 victors PolarAss on the Dire side. And once again, Badger once again joined by the man of many titles and about 9,500 matchmaking ratings, Salacious Sea Lion 62, aka Strawberry Shark, aka Rook, aka Jim, and hopefully
Yeah,
we'll be
my
in
one big
for
problem with
Dota.
my one big problem with Dire's draft is that like this is just such an awful Primal Beast game until he gets BKB. And like you really don't want to have to rush BKB as Primal Beast, but like he really has to this game. Like I mean their heroes are just so good at dealing with him, Badger. It's like it's a little absurd.
Alright, here's my counterpoint. Okay, remember last game, Dork Dotes was playing Puck and just refused to buy defensive items in time? He's
Yeah.
going to learn from his game 1. He'll buy the BKB in time this game, and
Yeah, but I
then he's
don't
going to
like the
own.
thing is like that's not like that doesn't feel good to just rush a BKB as Primal Beast, you know? Like it's like it was the only part of last game that was kind of a hard game for Puck was pretty much just the tiny.
Maybe
And
he'll, maybe, he'll,
maybe
maybe he'll go like phase Blade Mail BKB then, something like that, you know?
yeah, but I'm just saying that like that he has a lot of like the enemy team has a lot of really good heroes against his hero. At the end of the day, though, you know, we'll see what actually how it actually plays out. I have an inching suspicion that this Primal Beast is going to get really fed despite all of
Shell,
this,
what is
Badger.
Shallow doing? What is Shallow doing? This, oh no, okay, Shallow's fine. But notice what Jakiro is skilled.
The Q.
So I know, was it you who said this? But I remember I had a commentator on who is an expert on Jakiro to an extent. He was like, the way to determine a good Jakiro player and somebody who doesn't play it very much is what they skill level 1. He said basically every game Liquid Fires is better than Dual Breath level 1 because, one of them costs mana, the other one doesn't. Were you that
I don't play a lot
one?
of Jakiro, but I do think Dual Breath is way better level 1 this game, Badger, because it's way easier to hit them both with Dual Breath, so the Abaddon can only save one.
Okay, that makes sense then.
I don't know if that's I don't know what a super skilled Jakiro player would do. You know, I'm not really I haven't played Jakiro a lot in a long time, but I think that this game it's probably fine. Yeah, because it's a lot easier to double hit Dual Breath against 2 melees than like Liquid Fire. If that makes sense, just because of how like you saw how
You
far
saw it
the
right there.
Q
You saw it
casted.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the exact like thing I'm imagining.
I'm not trying to figure out who told me that if it wasn't you then.
I do really hope that they put 2 points into their E though, like you know what I mean? Because the E cooldown scaling is really good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I
From
also generally
16 to 12, yeah.
prefer to see what Seekers take their E level 1. Think it, yeah. I would have liked to see that, but you know, it didn't happen. It's whatever.
He went with that the W, the blood rate, which again, if there is one thing it is good at, it is securing the range creeps. I believe he has secured most of the range creeps so far. So, not that one, but that's Dota 2 for you sometimes. So Filski, he's going for a 0-1-1 skill build, which I believe is standard on offlane Abaddon. I'm very curious to see what he does this game item build wise. Obviously, in another life, I was a large player of the Abaddon hero, so I'm guessing he will go something like you know, maybe Radiance, Echo, Manta, something like that. So we'll see what he does here.
Yeah, time will tell.
Maybe Echo into Radiance into Manta. We'll see. We'll see. Bottom lane, a lot of spells getting thrown out by both teams. Fume is low. No kill on Fume. I believe it's a winning trade. Speaking of winning trades, top lane, Salty and Hobbs bring down Nephilim. Now Sonic will look to fight, bring down the Nyx, but to do so, that's a death on Luna to Hobbs' Razor. Double kill for the Razor of Hobbs. Big win there for Hobbs in particular in that top lane. That's 2 kills going to Razor there.
Yeah, this is a very good lane for Razor. I think that Razor's gonna have a really strong start. We'll see how much they leverage it. I do hope Hobbs buys Blade Mail this game. I think this is a good game for them to buy Blade Mail. It's really good here.
Okay, over under a number of blade mills this game, 2.5. You want the over or the under?
Take the under. I feel like lots of players don't buy Blade Mails even when they should. I feel like a lot of times I'm like, oh, this is
you're
like
right. You're
such
right.
this is such an amazing Blade Mail game.
Bottom
yeah,
lane,
I don't know.
Avalanche on Jakiro. Blood right on the floor from the Bloodseeker. The E has been activated by Filski. That will be a dead Jakiro. Filski will attempt to survive. He's got the shield ready to go. He's man-fighting Fume. Fume's running out away. And it will not be an activated curse from Filski, regardless. A kill there for the Abaddon in that lane now.
Hype.
Okay, what if I said 1.5 blade mails? Did you go the over still, or the under still, or did you go for the over suddenly?
Fuck. At that point, you're kind of close. I'd probably take the under.
Whoa, I think
feel-
there's definitely 2 blade mills. I think
I'm not sure.
Razor PB for sure, right? Razor and PB buy one.
Well, I think Primal Beast will
Feels good to
probably
be
buy
this
one, but I'm not sure if Razor will. I don't know. Every time I think people, oh yeah, these guys should really buy. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, people should buy blade nails. People just don't buy blade mails. So like, you know, it's just I can't bet on the over Badger. You know what I mean? It's like, how many times have I seen great blade mail games, like, but even better blade mail games than this, and people just don't buy it, and then I'm just like, well, you'd probably be a lot stronger if you did. You know what I mean, Badger?
Ring, 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 ring. Hey, Hobbs, it's your buddy Jim. You have a telephone call. Tell you to buy a fucking blade mail on Razor. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
It's okay. But yeah, I do think there are other viable builds they could go this game. I personally, though, would like it if they bought.
Speaking of
Blade Mail.
Razor, dive top lane. Nephilim's low. Hobbs is low as well, though. Danger zone for everybody top lane. Seems like Hobbs will get away. Salty tanks a bit of damage as well. Meanwhile, bottom lane is brawling there as well. Fume. With the extra moves he thinks in a fight, top goes in for Filski. Filski, I mean, he can't interact. Bloodseeker's got 600 move speeds. He's got to run away there.
Do that.
Let's see, Badger. Let's see how the net worth are shaping up. All right, nothing really crazy. I think Hobbs must have bought a lot of region there. The Luna's actually a higher net worth, which is slightly surprising to me, but not the craziest thing.
Yeah, I mean, Luna does have 8 more Elastis, to be fair, but...
Yeah, I mean, like Hobbs has 2 kills though, so I'm guessing I'm guessing it's a region gap in terms of, you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah, I mean, Luna does have 1 kill, but Luna has a death, and Hobbs got first blood money, so yeah, it should be a regen gap, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
Speaking of Razor-Luna interactions, good dodge on the Impale from Luna. Razor's still linking with the Split Earth from Nephilim, so Nephilim hits the stun. Salty does not. Nephilim will end up dying for Sonagod's sins, but it's better than Sonagod dying, so 1 kill for Salty, an escape by Sonagod's Sad Boy. The river time, the rune is grabbed by Chalamello, who simply walks away with the haste rune. I'm sure both mids would have loved that, but instead it is the man who is gathering no moss who grabs it. Heads to the bottom lane once again. Oh, that had the chainmail on the courier. Chainmail was on courier, Jim.
For wait, who's Crow? Sorry, I wasn't...
Fume's chainmail. He has no phase now on Bloodseek for the next minute and a half.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought you were saying that someone had a chainmail for like buying a blade. I thought this was like tying back into the blade mail discussion.
No. This is a new phase boots discussion. Look at Fume. He's angry. He knows he's lost his chainmail temporarily. He's trying to punish the Chalamello Tiny, but Chalamello's like, you know what? You can hit me. You're not hitting creeps now. He's having a grand old time right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm pretty. Pango seems like it's like kind of poor. Not like crazy poor, but he's like a bit poor, bro.
Bottom lane, dive by Filski and Shell. They caught the Jakiro isolated in the jungle. The Curse of Avernus was too much damage. Pangolier TP's bottom lane. Swashbuckle onto Filski. He's TPing. A bold TP! And it barely ends up not working. Big kill there for Fume, though. Getting that gold there.
Sonagod
top lane, as you mentioned, speaking of TPs away, unlike Filski, Sonagods did work out. Now Dark TP's in for a counter gank. He's trampling. He's trying for something, but between the body blocks and the Razor HP pool, wait a minute. That's not going to work. Dark takes a ton of damage thanks to Nyx Assassin. Dark's going to attempt to onslaught away. The Pulverize did not work, and at this point, Leshrac goes down. Radiant want one more kill. They're hunting Dark. They smoke to get a little bit more move speed. Dark is under that Bloodseeker thirst, and as a result,
usually the Primal Beast here is really good at ganking early, but not here, Badger. Not here. They got a lot of heroes to fuck them up.
Yeah, I think you almost have to gank bottom because again, Razor Nyx, that's not a fun lane to gank.
Yeah.
I get he TP'd to save his carry, but yeah.
And Nyx is really good at canceling your ultimate, right? They can E and walk in. Like a lot of times when heroes are stuck in the cast range of that, they can't do anything because like it interrupts their cast point. But like obviously like it's not, you know, with Nyx's E, it's like yeah.
Yeah, Nyx enjoys pissing off heroes. He truly does.
Yes.
I think if Nyx Assassin was like basically if Nyx Assassin was actually a real hold that thought me, because right now Razor's being gone on by Primal Beast. Hulk backs up Razor. Hobbs is barely alive. Dark cannot finish the kill. Is that Hobbs is still hitting. Treeheart's rolling. Dark is incredibly low. Salty's half HP. Dark's still alive. Hulk goes down to Chalamello. Back to Dark. Dark's still living. Finally dies now 1-for-1. As all that happens, Fume runs down Nephilim. Turns a 1-for-1 into a 2-for-1. That is a win there for Big Baller Brand. They want to make it a 1-1 draw.
They're looking, Badger. They're looking.
Hey, remember when I said that Dire won off the draft immediately?
Yeah.
I may have been wrong.
I think one thing you really underestimated how bad of a Primal Beast game this is, and I feel like it's just kind of showing like, bro, like this Primal Beast like needs to like go farm some item. This is really hard. It's just hard for him to interact with these lanes right now. You know what I mean?
He's going Blade Mail, presumably BKB after that.
Also, like ganking the safe lane isn't much better, Badger. If if they don't have Bloodseeker's ultimate timed, like he can't like. It's really hard for him to gank all these heroes. Like he can gank Razor Phasers alone, but like Razor's also like really ahead right now in comparison to the other guy. So I think you see what I'm saying.
You're saying Dota 2 is a hard video game.
Dota 2 is a hard video game. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, especially when you choose Primal Beast into like the enemy heroes, it's gonna be.
He saw 4 of the heroes as well. He saw everything but the Bloodseeker, so he knew. I mean, sure, Bloodseeker makes it a worse PB game, but he knew going into that pick. To
be honest, I kind of wish he actually skipped Blade Mill and just went straight BKB with how poor he is. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think the Blade Mill would be still fine to buy as your first item, but he's gonna be getting his BKB really late, Badger, and he's not gonna be getting his spells with a lot of value. You see what I'm saying? Like, not a good look.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of interaction going on mid lane. Doesn't seem like anything all of that important is going on mid, though. Swashbuckle forward by Treehard. Shallow tanks a bit of damage. Dark is in the vanguard. Tanks a couple of spells, but he's quite tanky. He'll onslaught towards Salty, who has the carapace. Salty walks away. Dark walks away. Everybody walks away. And now it's an avalanche on the Pango leader. Impale, Ice Path, both are on the floor. A bit of a stun stack there from the Radiant side, but the roll comes in from Treehard. That'll be a dead Tiny, surely. 1 kill for Purdue's very own Treehard. Now, we begin, or should I say resume, the siege of that mid T1 tower on the Dire side.
Yeah, are there any stacks being made? Oh, Luna actually has some stacks. This is really good for Dire, honestly. Like, this is really good that they're actually making stacks.
Wait, they see Sonagot, they see Sonagot, they see Sonagot. Sonagot has no HP.
Uh-oh.
He used the wand, but he's under thirst right now. He's gonna die. He's on around to have to die. He's dead.
Yeah.
Back link from Hobbs, going for Filsky. Filsky has ultimate into, he'll wand, he'll Lotus. Buying time for Dolphy to come off cooldown, now turns on Hobbs. Hobbs gets pulverized by Dark. Onslaught is ready, though. Yeah, the Onslaught actually did not get the last hit. Shallow got the last hit. It ended up being kind of a 1 for 0 between, 1 kill for Dire, 1 kill for the neutrals, 1 death on both Radiant and Dire, though.
Sorry about that, Badger.
You just sneeze?
No, I was coughing.
Either way, hope you're doing okay. Top
I
lane,
am
speaking of
fine.
not okay,
I should
Nephilim's not okay. Rupture was committed, Nephilim the fall. 3rd kill of the game now for Fume. He's 3-0-0. Despite the lost game 1, Fume has not died all that much this series. How many deaths did he have on game 1 in the PA? Like, what, 3 deaths probably?
No, I think he had a few more than that. Am I crazy? You might be right, but it sounds wrong to me.
I'm looking it up right now. I remember going deep into the game, he was still deathless. It's maybe not that deep. He died 5
Was he?
times.
I thought he died to a puck pretty early. I don't know. Wrong.
He died 5 times. Maybe I'm just...
Primal Beast taking the stacks. I don't really mind this at all. It helps his game. Dire is...
Yeah, they're going on Luna,
Luna's
though.
dead.
Luna's already half HP. Dual Breath hits. Carapace from Salty. Treehard still roll. An Impale onto Swashbuckle finishes the job. And now Fume arrives, looking for more. Filsky looks to interact, but, well, he's not having a fun time interacting. The borrowed time has been borrowed, now returned. Filsky tanks an Ice Bath. Swashbuckle hits. Hobbs arrives. Plasma Field has been used. Chalamel's still running. Shield Crash forward by Treehard. They're targeting the Leshrac. Primal Beast arrives to the fight. It's already 2 kills. Dark will Blade Mail looking to fight, but again, the Impale into the static link. Filsky is 1 hit from dying. Rupture in by Fume. Shallow is low. Dark is dead. It's an absolute disaster. That's a full 5-man wipe. By the side, a big baller brand. Sounding got TP into the fight, but now he's dead. Another full 5-man wipe. That's 6 dead on the Dire side. 0 dead for the big baller brand. And they're looking a lot like they're going to win this game number 2 in dominant fashion right now.
Yeah, it is. It's not like I thought it was a bad Primal Beast game, but I honestly thought Primal Beast would just spend some time hitting in the woods and like it would kind of like, you know, gold can solve a lot of problems in Dota. That has not been what's been happening. That's not been the case at all, Badger.
Yeah, I mean, even if gold could solve his problems, he simply doesn't have enough of it.
True. Very true.
And he's got the Blade Mail. You'd hope he'd be, you know, at least a component or 2 towards BKB. How many components does he towards BKB, Jim? The answer is 0. He has none of them.
He does have none of them. Oh, Badger, he's in trouble.
He's a BKB away from BKB, Jim.
Also, oh, Badger, looks like I was correct. It's just going to be 1 Blade Mill.
You were right, you were right. I mean, you made your assertion about lads players and their propensities to buy BKBs, and surprise, surprise, Jim was right.
Yeah, it is maybe like one of the single most like slept on items in lads. I think that's probably accurate. I'd have to actually think about that more to stake a strong position, but
Mid lane, blink in by Shallow
that's
Mellow.
correct.
Dark onslaughts forward. Salty will Impale and Vendetta. Where's Dire's detection? 1 sentry on the floor. Salty gets away from that, walks into another sentry, walks away from that one. Nephilim arrives. Salty will Carapace. He's still Vendetta walking away. And that'll be a failed kill. That was, I believe, the blink reveal from Shallow. I feel like last players buy most other items. I'm minus it. Bottom lane, it's definitely a fight going on right now. Shield Crash from Treeheart. Necropower Ice Path on the floor from Hulk, hitting on 2. Roll up from Treeheart. Splitter on Jakiro from Nephilim. Onslaught forward by Dark. Hulk is dead. Dire move to Hobbs, who's only a quarter HP, dropping rapidly. His move speed enough for Raze to get away. Treeheart's still rolling. Rupture in by Fume. Finds Luna. Luna TP's away, but it does not work. Fumes out of control. Tanks and Splitters. Maybe he's in control. Silenced by Filsky. Still running. Onslaught forward.
Oh.
Down goes Bloodseeker. 2 deaths on the Radiant
Too far,
side. Treeheart will get away surely, but that's a big death to have there on Bloodseeker, giving a lot of gold to Filsky on the Abaddon.
Yeah, that was not a great look by the squad. Especially because Fume is so close to BKB. Really no need to fight. Didn't have like all their heroes set up, etc. It breathed some life back into Dire's game, but I'd say that they're still pretty far away from, you know what I mean, feeling good about how the game is turning out.
I agree. You know, it's funny. I thought the question you asked earlier. I mean, I feel like Lads players buy every other item properly. You know, they buy Disperser, they buy Reverend Spruce when they need to. They'll buy Pavises, and you know, ooh, bottom lane. Filsky has ulti on cooldown. Is he just dead? Actually, he's just dead. Now top lane, Jakiro appears to be dead. That's a favorable 1-for-1 trade. Filsky for Hulk. Fume arrives at Rupture on Dark. Dark will TP. And thanks to the Avalanche, it will be in time. Splitter, another death on Fume!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Is there suddenly a Dota game in this Dota game, Jim?
It might be it might be Badger. I mean, I think there's still...
He's dead on the track?
Holy...
What is going on? Treeheart interacts with Sonagod. Avalanche cancels the animation on roll, allowing Sonagod to TP away.
One thing I don't like for Radiant is that I think this Pango should definitely have a blink in the shard. I think his main job should be to like get in for his team, and I think like that's not what his build is currently setting him up to do. So I think that will maybe contribute to some problems down the line. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the statement, Badger?
My thoughts are elsewhere. It's focused on, you know, it's like we keep getting a Dota game. It's like a bit of a back and forth thing right now. That's what I'm thinking about right now, Jim.
In what sense?
Well, it's like, you know, Dire, they keep trying to get back in this game, and then Radiant kind of claws it back a little bit further, a little more out of reach. Maybe it's more the opposite, actually, where Radiant keeps feeding them a chance at Dota 2, and then Dire kind of can't grab it, but still. Radiant smoke, they run into Dark, who's invis. They'll end up running north expecting a hero to be there. The hero was not there. Maybe now they know there's an invis hero somewhere, but again, Dark, ooh, good game sense. Gets away from one sentry, walks into another sentry though. Impale hits now Onslaught's on cooldown, and goodbye, Dark. That's going to be a kill for Hobbs.
What is Hobbs buying next after this BKB? I guess they're probably just finishing Manta, honestly.
Probably. Top lane. Everyone's fine there. This is definitely a Mantha game and not SNY, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I mean, I think Mantha is just so good on Razor. It's like everyone buys it always, and I think it's probably pretty much always the case that it's like it's just so good on Razor. You know what I mean, Badger? Like, yeah. Eels.
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 Yeah, Luna is just so poor though, to be honest. Like they might only be down like 1k from like the Pango, like, you know, but they are for a Luna this is so poor. Like you don't even have Manta and it's minute 20. Like this hero is really good at catching up quickly, but I think that if they start to leverage their BKBs.
Oh no, the Split Earth was missed on a stationary target. I think maybe he was pushed slightly by Onslaught, messed up Nephilim's cast, but regardless, Pangolier gets away. Hobbs arrives. BKB's going in for Dark. Dark will end up going down. Filsky will end up keeping away with the borrowed time as that, and Salty finds Nephilim, brings him down the east side of the fight. 32 kills. Hobbs will not find Shell thanks to the blink escape to the east side on Tiny, but it's still 2 more kills, and again, big kills there. I know we mentioned, correction, you mentioned Luna's rough network situation. He's once again TPing away on Luna, but again, Luna, notoriously good farmer. Bloodseeker not really known for being a great farmer, and Bloodseeker is, 3k ahead of Luna right now. Mid lane, Filski wants a solo kill on Treeheart. Treeheart is actually out of mana thanks to Filski's Diffusal Blade, but Treeheart has friends, he's got teammates backing him up, and as a result, it will be a dead Abaddon.
Woo! Kills. Friendship.
Ooh.
Woo.
I don't know about, this is definitely not friendship. This is full-on Mortal Kombat, Jim.
True. I'm gonna say Badger's looking more and more like a 1-1 series. I think it's gonna be because like Luna with Manta can't like actually like tend these fights at all, right? Like they're just they really need to like someone else on that team needs to get fed, or otherwise they're gonna have big problems. You know what I mean? Because like they need someone who can buy Luna another like 10 minutes alone, if that makes sense.
And we're at the point now where Luna might not even get 5 minutes alone, let alone 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like if this was like a super high MMR game, like a competitive, like a tier 1, tier 2 game, you know what I mean? The game would just be so over. Like, Radiant can just walk at them and like they can just walk at them with their BKBs, force any fight they want. They'll win at any fight they want as long as they don't like terribly use their spells. And anytime the opponents go to split, Nyx hunts them or Pango hunts them. They get sent into their base again. They take every, you know what I mean? It's just like the conditions for victory are very clear and linear right now. Like they have all the tools to deal with the few options Dire has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like Luna can't really super aggressively farm on the enemy side because there's a Nyx assassin, and like Pango can like TP in with the Nyx and just like they just die. Like there's just very few good options they have left. I think if anything, Primal Beast after his BKB should like try to like cut waves and be a rat and then like BKB TP or something. I don't know. But like that's I feel like the kind of like game we've approached.
Yeah, not all teams necessarily want to play that style of Dota. PolarAss historically.
Well, it's not
been able
about
to
playing
play
that style
it,
of Dota. Just like when you're this far behind, like that is your option to come back. It's not a stylistic thing. It's like you do this, or like you just like lose every or you take normal fights and you lose the normal fights. Or
Fume
you're literally
been
just
caught. He'll die once on the Bloodseeker. It's respawn time for Fume. Dark will have the ulti. Fume will BKB though. Pulverize on the Bloodseeker. Cancel the buy salty. Filski's dead. Dark is dead. They actually overkilled Abaddon so hard he couldn't even use his ulti there. Now that's going to end up being 2 cores dead. This should be a pretty routine tier 2 tower siege bottom lane now.
yes. Badger says so, then that is the truth.
Dude,
Badger
they're split sieging them. They're
Badger,
split sieging.
You know the thing about Smash as me, Pastor? You're my pastor, Badger.
Thank you, my child. But
Problem, Badger. Anytime.
we are seeing the split siege mid and bottom. Both towers are very low. Both of them will likely end up dying eventually, though. Mid will die first. Mid is dead. Now, I mean, there will be another glyph if Dire want to glyph bottom, but they always could just hold it for high ground at this point.
Yeah. Just very few good options left for the boys on Dire. Luna could also try to just cut a few waves and then eventually die and then repeat this process a few times. It's not the best or fanciest play, but like they really need to like try to cut waves and like make the game like fucked. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Oftentimes, Badger, so you'll think of the rat cutting as a style, but you know what? The rat cutting is more about recognizing when you're fucked and choosing your best option when you're smashed.
You have to know yourself. You really do.
Yeah. A lot of our infamous rat winning games, it's not like we started ratting like that was the game plan from the start. It was more like, oh, like remember that game against I think Cuz team where we were like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like we didn't start that game planning to do that. You know what I mean? That wasn't the plan. Like we didn't. You know what I mean, Badger? Like
I have to hold that anecdote for later. BKB from Fume goes in for Sonagod. Sonagod's dead. Nephilim's dead as well. Salty will end up dying on the blade mail, but again, now Dark has to be very, very careful walking away. You know that game that Cuz team lost to that rat game from us? That was our first real rat game. That was officially
Yeah.
the end of Nexty, because Nexty going into that game was like 9-1. It was all downhill from there after that game. Like they never recovered from that loss. They literally never recovered from the loss.
Yeah, I mean losing games like that, every when you're getting ratted and you don't know how to really respond to it well, like everyone, the team starts to hate each other and feel like, how are you guys letting them do this? You know, it's just, I think it's really demoralizing to play against when you lose to that shit.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a particularly honorable style of play, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, bro. It ain't about honor, bro. It's about what works. All right. You're down 1 million gold. Go try to cut some waves, brother. That shit works.
You know, when there's money on the line, well, $0 on
But
the line in this case. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's not like we were usually aiming for that type of stuff. It just happened. Like we were so far behind that that was our only option, right? I think that if there's one thing I could try to convince lives players of, it's that when the game is totally smashed, you should just be willing to die a bunch on side lanes and like pushing a lot. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would be good advice for most lads players, and it's also even more effective in pubs.
The fight breaks out, multiple spots towards the tri-camp. Cello, the primary target, TP's away. Dark was ruptured. He's just standing still right now. But despite a promising jump, Radiant connect on neither of the two kills. Problem is Sonagod, he's under a ward. I don't believe he can live here. It'll be a miracle if Luna escapes. She's running to the south. She'll Manta, but that'll be a death. One more kill for Hobbs. Now Hobbs up to 8-1 and 5 KD-wise, so... Again, the lead extends. There is no Aegis left. Next Roshan will be in 3 whole minutes, so... Yeah, we'll maybe wait for that second Roshan, then Big Baller Brand win the game, and then we go home. Well, we're already home, but we stopped casting, I should say.
True. That sounds pretty accurate, Badger.
You are in your chair, probably with Cat 1. I'm in my chair, sweating
Yeah,
profusely.
actually, Cat One's like I think sleeping now or something. She's not meowing up.
Lucky you, lucky you.
She kind of accepted that, like, oh, I guess he's casting with Badger now. Whatever, man. You know what I mean? And then chilled out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you went something like that internally. Who knows though?
Probably the case. Luckily, though, Big Baller Brand, they're not waiting for the next Roshan. They're beginning a bit of a slow siege in the bot lane. Hobbs in the vanguard. Salty just TP's away, though, perhaps setting up in the top lane area. Filsky killed the T1 tower, top lane. Perhaps Salty's looking to cancel TPs at the Dire base. We see Sonagod and Dark on defense. Salty is still hunting around. He's now under a Dire Observer Sentry combo. Fume heads over to Salty. Cello and Nephilim, they're in the Salty neighborhood. Salty is, well, I guess also in the Salty neighborhood right now. Salty walks into a lot of Dire heroes under a Radiant Observer ward, but it's under a Dire Sentry ward. Both teams are arriving. Filsky manually uses the ultimate. Nyx will die. What's the Radiant getting in exchange? They've already killed the Leshrac. They're now going to get the Abaddon. Dark's BKBing. Luna will use the Eclipse. Dark pops the ulti. He's trying to fight. But goodbye, Sonagod. Dark has Onslaught in 2. He's not going to live for 2. Double kill for Triarch. Cello jumps on in with the last of his HP pool. He'll end up dying. That's a full 5-man wipe. 33-12 kill score. 19k gold lead. The only saving grace that the waves are not in a great spot for Big Baller Brand, or else it'd be Rax right now. It still might be Rax.
That is pretty accurate sounding, Badger.
I'm being asked to give my opinion on the Abaddon build. Honestly, I'm not opposed to it. It's not my style, but I think this game makes some sense. We saw earlier when he was 1v1ing Treehard, the mana burn is actually pretty good, but again, I don't think the item build's a problem in this game for Dire.
Yeah, I don't think the Abaddon's item build is really that. It's whatever. Yeah, I think it's whatever. Not like I'm not in love with his build, but I don't really think it's at all. I don't think it's at all the problem in this game. You know what I mean, Badger? It's just like whatever. Who cares? Also, look at this. Luna's still no. It's 30 minutes officially now, and Luna's still no BKB. This isn't the Flame Sonagod, but it's more just to say like, damn, like that's a sad position to be in as Luna.
Yeah, I'm going to use my favorite and I quote silly phrase. What can you do? Dire smoke up on 5. It's Hail Mary time. They're heading towards Hobbs. Hobbs has BKB on cooldown for 5. Satanic ready to go. They'll jump for the Razor. Razor cannot BKB for 2 more seconds. But there's the BKB, but no Satanic in time. Hobbs dead. BKB on cooldown. That's a big kill to find there. A lot of gold for Filski's Abaddon. Speaking of Filski's, running for more. Sees Jakiro, I believe sees the Bloodseeker. Diffusal Blade has been used. Glimmer from Hulk gets forced away by, I believe, himself. Impale has been used onto Abaddon. Abaddon will manually activate the borrowed time and walk away, so Razor dead and nothing else happens.
Badger.
So,
What do they do, Badger?
yeah, that's funny. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I
Here's how
figured you were
Dyer here's how Dyer can still win. Somehow, some way, they
Alright.
contest second Roshan bottom. They kill a bunch of heroes. They snatch the Aegis. They, I guess, grab the banner as well.
Okay, here, okay. Okay, the thing is, Bloodseeker has a song. It's okay. Like, sometimes a good way to win the games in these spots is to try to like one-shot Bloodseekers, but he actually has a pretty defensively oriented build. Is the problem? They're all. If you could start on, you could maybe one bang Pango, or if you start on both of their backline heroes and kill them before like the cores can do anything, that's another option. Like we're talking like you need to get like the perfect angles of like people being split off and out of position for your engage. But like if that happens, like the thing is, I think even if they both like one pop both with the supports, they're probably still fucked. To be honest, excuse my language, but they're probably still in a bad spot.
PolarAss are on the way. Salty has broken the initiation chain. He's distracting right now. He'll end up dying on Nyx, surely. But look at Roshan. Roshan is low. Cello can be the hero. Cello can be the hero. Salty is at Cello. Blinks an avalanche. Toss. Treeheart's low. Cello. He's bought time for the team to arrive. Aegis is grabbed by Fume. Banner is, I don't care where. And now Radiant begin to disengage. They're TPing away by the pit area. Problem is Fume has no TP. Hobbs is TP on cooldown. So look at Radiant. They're going to need a hide here. This triangle of the map, this whole triangle area. If Dyer walk over here, please. See, you can smell them. You can smell the fear. Walk east, please. PolarAss, make an interesting game. Walk east, walk east, walk east, walk east, walk east, please. Never mind, only Nephilim. He'll die. What can you do,
Yeah.
Jim? What can you do?
What can you do? Bloodseeker with Aegis too. It's like this guy is like fucking. He's yoked to the gills.
Remember when you
Badger,
said
you know?
Bloodseeker wasn't going to die because of his item build?
Yeah.
If you can't kill him twice because of his item build, how do you kill him twice with the same item build?
Yeah, it's so doomed.
I don't think you do.
A lot of times Bloodseekers will buy like BKB, but then no other like items to really protect themselves, and they're still totally one-shottable. But I really like Fume's build this game. I think Hobbs is like, even though they went S and Y, I thought they'd go Manta. Like I think it was a fine decision, and now that they have the Satanic too, they're pretty unkillable. Yeah, I don't know. I just
Oh boy, mid lane, never mind the cores, don't have dust the cores, Jim! If you were on the Star team,
Core
you'd be
picks.
cursing a storm right now. Dark TP's away, Filski's on the run, Impale on 2 is fantastic, Sonic Owl BKB, that's not gonna work, Ice Path on Filski, roll by Treeheart.
literal core pick.
Literal core swine, apparently. Triple kill for Hobbs on the Razor, and the bash on Dark! Oh no, just give Hobbs a rampage at this point. Link forward, ultra kill for Hobbs, Dark is low, there's a rampage for Hobbs. Rampage on the Razor, Tiny buys back. At this point, this game is incredibly over.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about, Badger. You know, like I thought it'd be a really hard Primal game, and you know, I think Dark's a pretty strong Lads player, but he couldn't get shit done. No offense, like, and I you know, you see what I'm saying though, Badger? You know what I mean? Like, it is just so hard for this hero to do anything this game, and I think this hero not being able to do anything means that like they can run at the Luna pretty uncontested, and then Luna's poor. Yeah. The Abaddon pick didn't really get anything going either. You know what I mean, Badger? It's tough. I will say,
watch the game, I do know what you mean.
I think that playing a game like this, where you're playing heroes to get an early lead, and then you like leverage your early lead well, and you know what I mean. I think that's pretty well done by
Big
by
baller
Radiant.
brand.
Yeah.
Salty is Scottish Cello Mellow. Cello is somehow fine. I'm not quite sure how. Regardless, roll up from Treeheart. Filski will use the ultimate, but gets Yules by, I believe, Salty's Nyx Assassin. Treehard's still rolling. Shilsky is officially dead. Fume walks into the fountain, taking a lot of fountain shots. That's 1 life lost. Correction, both lives lost. Bloodseeker and Hobbs dies to, I believe, the fountain as well. That's a lot of gold going back. Problem is, I don't think that changed the outcome of the game.
They
It
did
just
some
delays
trolling
us.
there, but I'll be honest, I think for that trolling to really matter all that much, both of those kills needed to go to Luna. I don't think either of those kills went to Luna, so they're still very poor.
Dire might get a 3rd kill, though. They need more kills. Limber Cape from Hulk. Avalanche on 2. Treehard's got the shield. Dark is trampling. He's onslaught and he's pulverizing, bringing down the Jakiro. Salty's been tossed up by Cello. Nephilim's low. Salty will end up using himself defensively, and he ends up dying perfectly to a tree toss from Cello. That's 4 kills for the side of PolarAss. Swashbuckle saves Treehard from Cello's Avalanche in the river. But at this point, you've gotten 4 kills. I still don't think the outcome of the game is in doubt, but now we're here for probably, what, 3.5, 4 more minutes than we should be? Maybe longer
Yeah.
than that?
I mean, if they throw it one more time and Luna gets a shit ton of gold, hey, it could be a game. Like, I think that throw, it's just putting a dent in into the overwhelming lead. But I think one more throw and Luna getting a lot of gold. Like, let's imagine that Luna gets like 3k gold off of a fight, and then maybe they get the Aegis, maybe they don't, whatever. Okay. But let's say Luna's just farming naturally till then, and then Luna has enough gold to buy like a Scotty with their Conda, or they go beef. I'm just saying, it's very conceivable to me that a big throw could be really bad for them.
You speak
I
the
also think
truth.
that if Primal Beast can somehow get to a Shivas and the Ags, I think he'll be pretty impactful. By the way, if he gets to that, you know what I mean? I think he'd be pretty impactful.
I agree. So, yeah, we're headed down top lane. Big baller brand. They're going to matriculate up to this T3 tower now. They'll, of course, look to of course, get the megas. Again, you get the megas. This very hard game for Dire becomes a good bit harder. They have, I mean, hypothetically, they can hold against the megas, but again, if Radiant get megas, the equilibrium situation goes from bad to incredibly bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that I think Radiant's gonna have to funnel Luna a lot of gold for this to be a game again, which is possible. Like, hey, they just showed that they might go a bit crazy and dive the fountain. Like, that happened. Like, they dive really badly again. They don't get megas. Luna gets like 2 kills on Bloodseeker and Pango, and hey, it's a game again.
I agree. So here's
Also,
how Dire can still win. What you just said.
Luna is also a really good hero to buy Rapier, by the way. So
Definitely.
actually, I think if they do get some kills on Luna, I think Luna should just buy a Rapier and be like YOLO, bro. Because her with Conda, her beam will one shot people. Won't actually
Fire
one shot them,
smoke,
but it'll do a lot.
avalanche on 2, toss back against Fume. He's BKB, tanks the ulti from Primal Beast. In come both teams, throwing in everything. Dark jumps the Radiant backlines. He's now ruptured. Sonic God is slow. He's trying to fight, but he cannot fight and has no buyback. Treehard's rolling. Dark to fall. Tolsky still has. Never mind, he has no ult. He already used it. All 3 cores are dead, and unsurprisingly, the GG is called. That's a 1-1 draw we've got, Jim.
That is true, Badger. Meow.
It's been really. If there's one overarching theme from this season, Jim, you want to know what it is? It's the
What?
season of 1-1 draws. There has been a lot of 1-1 draws. Off the top of my head, something like 2/3 of the series, maybe even more than that, have been 1-1 draws. And hypothetically, obviously this is not the case, but if every team was equally skilled, you would expect within a rounding error 50% of series to be drawn. The fact that this many series has been drawn not only speaks to the parity of lads, but also the volatility of lads, because we're kind of just rolling a lot of these 1-1 draws here.
Yeah. Yeah. Hype. Yeah. I thought that was a good series overall, though. GG's to both teams. What are your thoughts on this, Badger?
I mean, I agree. I think both teams are happy with the win they got. Obviously, both teams have improvements to make, but it's early group stage. There's plenty more Dota to be played. Plenty more. I mean, there's the second group stage, and then of course the playoffs in the future. So both teams can put the 1-1 draw in their rear view mirror, drive on ahead, and look forward to what could be a very competitive team from either competitive season from either of his teams. Still. So, Jim, do you have any final analysis for us?
Do I have any final analysis? Not particularly.
In that case, Jim,
No.
thanks for coming on, joining me tonight. Do you have any final words, call outs, shout outs, say to the people of Legal Ads?
It's a good question, Badger. Do I? Not GG's to both teams. I thought it was a good series. I hope everyone's having fun with their fun with their lad season. I hope people work on showing up to series on time on my team and all teams. That's just the general dream I have for Legal Ads.
I agree. I agree.
I want to thank
Wholeheartedly
I want to
agree.
thank Badger, who's been so dedicatedly casting the league, despite the fact that a lot of the players are swine who don't prime subscribe to him. You know,
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. I
no
appreciate
problem.
it. So, let's start. I will start the outro today. Congratulations to both teams on their victory in the 1-1 draw between Big Baller Brand and PolarAss. Thank you to Jim again for coming on CoCast, and thanks to both Jim and Andy for their Prime subscriptions. As Jim mentioned, they are nice. I'll be back whenever I'm back for more Dota 2. Not quite sure when, but I'm sure it's more Lads action in the very foreseeable future. If you want me to cast your games, cast your tournaments, especially if you're paying the moolah. You're looking for either a commentator or perhaps the best tournament admin in the business, contact me at twitter.com/BadgerDota2 or over on Discord, it's Badger Pablo. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great night.